चलो इसमें देखते हैं ग्रैंड फाइनल फ्री फायर।
कमाल है साहब, आपका परिवार आपके भरोसे पर है और आपकी
No, I think I feel so confident. We're training so hard in Asia, so we're very confident to lift the trophy again.
21 elimination from the champions of Clash 1 and still on the roll, and EVOS being taken down.
Ya, setelah di EWC kemarin kita sudah tidak mendapatkan piala-piala lagi, kita tidak bisa ngejuarain turnamen-turnamen berikutnya, mungkin karena kita udah lupa siapa kita sebenarnya. Tetapi di hari ini kita sudah ingat siapa diri kita sebenarnya.
If you look at the data, it says they will not be the back-to-back champions. If you look at the kids and if you look at how determined they are to be back-to-back champions, there's a slight possibility. But it's going to be difficult because for the first time ever on the global stage, we've got 24 teams. Everybody's got that exact same dream. Because that dream is alive for the rest, the chances of EVOS Divine doing it back-to-back may be a little lower.
Kalau untuk tim-tim lain sih, kalau buat saya sendiri saya tidak perlu memikirkan banyak hal tentang tim-tim lain karena itu saya sudah percaya kepada coach saya. Jadi saya tinggal fokus aja main. Nah itu yang terbaik pokoknya. Pesan-pesan untuk tim-tim lain ya, hati-hatilah karena ini EWC bukan turnamen yang lain. Kalian bisa lihat sejarah-sejarah kita di turnamen EWC kemarin. Nah itu dia, kalian hati-hati aja yang ngegangguin drop zone kita.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
What's up, everyone? Carol Bombshell here, and I want to know you, sir. Do you got what's necessary to take home $300,000?
Well, I would love to, but not me. We have 12 best team here competing to get the prize pool, 300,000 USD. And the previous 12 teams have got their key crushed.
Oh my gosh, but what about EVOS? Do they have what's necessary to defend their title?
I know that they're a strong team, but what about Fluxo?
Yes, it's time for Brazilian teams.
I'm having high hopes that they can do it this year. What about you? Other teams?
I don't know. We gotta figure that out. So come with us and let's hit the
guys support करना
sky.
इंडिया को। आ जाओ सारे।
I wonder who's gonna rise above. But before we talk about that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the STC Rewind here for Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 26 in Paris, France. And we got a lot to go through, Lucifer. First, I'm gonna hand the mic over to you, India man.
Man, oh man, India,
They took the stage up in a storm.
Bhai, idhar
They ended up taking 2 of the spots in the grand finals when people were thinking none. And that is what India did. Team Apex Gaming and SHUL Esports making such history happen. In the very first time that they stepped on Esports World Cup, they're in the grand finals.
Absolutely. We also had some heartbreaking moments yesterday after the survival stage. Team Secret, the sole representative of Vietnam, are now out of contention. Team Vitality, the runner-up of EWC 25, missed out the grand final spot by just 3 points.
But there's a bigger one that made their entry. That's going to be Lyon, Latin America. What a performance, taking the top of the charts for the grand finals and then getting a chance to crush the keys. 8 were all done by Lyon. And it was, yes, gut-wrenching to see that. But that's the part of Esports World Cup.
In spite of all the heartbreaks, we also have returning champions, right? Our club champion, Team Falcons, are in the grand finals. Our reigning champions, Team EVOS Esports, also in the grand finals. And we also have plenty of world champions, Fluxo, Buriram United Esports, and a lot more hopefuls like Lao, MIBR.LOS, all here for a piece of the pie.
This grand finals is now going to get spicier because Esports World Cup 26 Paris Free Fire. This is the last and final day. Match point is going to be played, and the finals, who will get it all? Because that trophy, we've seen it. Who's going to put their key? We were talking about it. You mentioned, right? Them having their inscription in their very own language, and then them getting a chance to get 3 keys in their game trophy. All of it along with the totem. That's what it's all about. Making your name in history etched and everything being earned.
And with that being said, I think it's about time to get the grand final started. 300 grand on the line and glory in Paris. Who's going to take it away? Let's get the grand finals going.
Welcome back, everybody, to another club championship update. We have a lot to dive into, so let's get straight into it. First of all, Team Falcons, our defending club champs, are now out of 3 of the 4 games being played here in week 2. That's huge, and let's talk about how they got there, okay? Yesterday, Dota 2 was one of the games they were playing in, but they went out. There's now only one CC eligible team, who is BB Team, competing in that tournament, so it's going to be a tough time for everybody else, and a lot of points were left on the table in Dota 2. Then we're going to move on to League of Legends. In League, we only have T1 and Gen G left in the competition. Now, both of those clubs do have a few hundred points on the board, but it's not enough, and they're both going to need more. So this is an opportunity for them to do exactly that. But now we're going to dive into the games where things are really starting to heat up. MLBB MWI has a massive storyline we have to pay attention to. We have Navi and Team Vitality in the finals, and this is big for 2 reasons. 1, Vitality are the defending champs, and this is an opportunity for them to defend their title. But 2, Navi and Vitality are 1st and 2nd place on our club championship leaderboard. This is huge and a big opportunity for even more points for both of those clubs. Then, of course, we move into Free Fire. And this is where we actually have the most CC eligible teams available. We have Falcons, we have AGAL, MIBR, Twisted Minds, SAUL, and Team RRQ. Now notice, Team Vitality not in that list because they unfortunately went out in the 10th and final match of our survival stage. They missed out, were leapfrogged by SAUL by just a few points. Tragic but huge for the likes of Team Falcons, who I just mentioned really need to get some points on the board because in comparison to where Falcons were last year, they are 1,000 points behind their 2025 CC score. This is crazy, and that's not even counting the fact that AGL have been slaying out in Free Fire, and they could be one of those teams to take the points away from our bigger CC squad. So like I said, so many storylines to pay attention to. We're going to have to wait to see how the rest of it plays out during the day, and of course, we're going to have some totem moments later on, and when those happen, we'll make sure to check back in.
We started off with 24 teams 3 days ago, and now we're down to our final 12. Welcome back to the Free Fire at EWC 26 Finals. I'm the 7WG, and I'm going to be joined by amazing, talented people, not only Conchita, Neptune, and also the rest of the cast that you'll see throughout the day. For today, everything's at stake. It's not just about being in the top 4. It's not just about surviving. It's about becoming the champion and setting your key on that totem for 2026. We'll see which team is going to be doing because we have so many amazing storylines that we'll be guiding you through. But for everybody currently watching at home, don't forget that you can join the Esports Foundation Creator Program. You can live stream, apply, earn rewards, and maybe we might end up interviewing you today. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, make sure you do so. And while you're at it, check out the EWC app and the EWC website to do your predictions because our predictions, not gonna lie, mine have been a little bit off. We might have cursed some teams, blessed some other teams, but today we're only gonna be blessing all their squads. Use that hashtag EWC26. Neptune Conchita, how are we feeling today? $300,000 on the line, $1 million prize pool. But not only that, being able to become the Free Fire at EWC 26 champion.
I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling it. I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but standing right here, we can hear the drums of Luxo supporter as well as the flags of RRQ Kingdom. Everyone is here and the game is on. I am feeling it, Neptune.
I'm real excited right now to see how these teams are because some of the teams haven't met after group stage. So I'm really looking forward to how they're going to fight it out.
We saw some surprises, and talking about surprises, make sure you check out the amazing surprise that Free Fire is currently blessing us with, a new mode, the kickoff mode. I know there's a big football match happening this weekend, but you can test out your football skills in the game. Check that out. Let us know how you do. And as I said earlier, use the hashtag EWC or hashtag EWC26 to show us how you were able to do on that new mode because I've been practicing and let me tell you, I'm at least going to score one time, Neptune.
You're not the only one.
I'll see. I mean, in terms of mobile games, I think I have a better chance because I have been playing a lot.
Ooh, okay, all right. We might have to team up, Conchita, because if not, he's just going to end up beating us up.
Yes, it's gonna walk all over us.
For generations, Argentina worshipped LT.
We had some pleasant surprises. We got to start off with the Indian teams. Honestly, nobody expected them to be here in the finals because it was their first time showing up at EWC. But boy, did they end up surprising us with their performances. We're talking about tag. I mean, during group stages, they were averaging about 7.4 eliminations. Yesterday, they were all the way up to 10.3.
Yes, I mean, Apex Gaming have been killing it. But actually, what surprised me even more is 8-8-UL. I mean, S8UL. It's kind of hard for me to pronounce, but it's definitely not hard for them to make it to the final because just yesterday they got 94 elimination points to Booyah in just a day. They got 1 eliminations and 7 eliminations in one game. That is so amazing. I mean, yesterday's survival stage, I remember correctly, game 7, 6 headshots. That is some individual skills.
Ooh, and not only that, the heartbreaking final match for Vitality fans, SAUL took matters into their own hands and they eliminated them and qualified to the finals.
Actually, I didn't even know that they eliminated Team Vitality. Well, that's the settings of the game right now.
Yeah.
But that's one thing, though. I mean, we didn't expect SAQL to do that because they also are missing one of their players. I mean, when they started off the qualifiers, they don't have Prince right now in EWC. So, like, expectation was very low, but it's good that they were able to navigate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to come down to can they do it when the top dogs are here? Because not only that, you have the defending champions of EVOS. You have Buriram that they just want to be able to win here at EWC. They got Fluxo. So many amazing teams that are now here in the finals that we'll be keeping a close eye on. But one team that everybody's going to be keeping a very close eye on is none other than Buriram. I think they got some words to say for today.
Good morning, I'm Yosul and welcome to the final stage today. Right next to me, we have Wasana from Buriram United Esports, Thailand's team. Alright, so good morning everyone. And okay, first to fresh off everything. So can you guys tell me, how does it feel to access to the grand final stage at this moment for Buriram United Esports?
ก็ก่อนอื่นนะฮะขอแสดงความยินดีด้วยนะฮะที่ว่าได้เข้ามาถึงรอบแกรนด์ไฟนอล EWC 2026 นะกรุงปารีสแล้วนะฮะอยากสอบถามว่าตอนนี้รู้สึกยังไงบ้างฮะที่เรามาถึงจุดนี้แล้ว
ก็รู้สึกดีใจครับ
ก็คือทำตามเป้าหมายแรกที่ตั้งไว้ได้แล้วต่อไปก็เหลืออีกเป้าหมายหนึ่งที่ตั้งไว้ก็คือคว้าแชมป์ให้ได้ครับ
Yeah, so we are very happy and excited. Like we already reached the point that we have been setting up like at the very beginning of this event, and now the only thing that has been remained is like claiming the champ.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so I can see that from our previous tournament, for example, like the C1, you guys seems to be a little bit slowed down, like what happened. But during to this EWC, you guys are so different, like so many changes. So do you think that with other strong contenders like Team Falcons, Fluxo, can you guys made it to the champions?
ก็อย่างตอนเราไปแข่ง C1 นะฮะแต่ว่าตอนนั้นเราอาจจะมีเรื่อง slow down บ้างแต่ว่าพอเรากลับมา EWC เนี่ยฟอร์มเราเริ่มกลับมาดีเหมือนเดิมนะฮะอยากสอบถามว่าตอนนี้เนี่ยเรามีทีมแข็งแกร่งค่อนข้างเยอะเลยทีเดียวไม่ว่าจะเป็น Fluxo Falcon อะไรแบบนี้นะฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับผม
ก็ที่ฟอร์มระดับก็เหมือนแบบว่าอาจจะเป็นเพราะว่าฟอร์มในทีมมันแบบมีปัญหาอะไรหลายๆอย่างด้วยเรื่องปัญหาแต่ว่าตอนนี้ก็คือพร้อม 100% ครับก็สำหรับมีทีมตึงก็ดีครับสนุกไปอีกแบบหนึ่งเพราะว่าที่ผ่านมาก็ยังไม่มีรายการไหนที่แบบว่าดูที่จะตึงเท่ารายการนี้เลย
Yeah, so the time at that point when our form is like not the way we normally play because like there's a little bit of problem we have been running into, but right now everything has been fine. So all the problem have been solved, and as like in this event there's so many strong teams. Actually, we really like it because like, it's really fun to play against a strong team.
Wow, very confident. Actually, I really like that one. No, normally if I listen to like, if I heard of like strong contenders, I would feel so scared of them. But wow, look at him. Wasana, right? Everyone knows Wasana or Buriram United Esports. Alright, so is there anything you want to send to your viewers and especially to the Thailand fans who are following Buriram United Esports at EWC?
ตอนนี้นะครับมีอะไรอยากฝากถึงแฟนๆชาวไทยไหมครับแล้วก็แฟนๆชาวต่างประเทศด้วยที่คอยซัพพอร์ตบุรีรัมย์ในการแข่งขัน EWC ครั้งนี้ครับ
ก็วันนี้มาสุดท้ายแล้วครับรอบชิงแล้วพวกผมก็จะทำให้เต็มที่แล้วก็จะคว้าแชมป์มาฝากทุกคนได้ครับก็ฝากเป็นกำลังใจให้ด้วยครับวันนี้ที่นี่เริ่มบ่ายโมงก็ในรายการแข่งจริงๆก็น่าจะประมาณ 6 โมงเย็นครับก็ฝากติดตามมันด้วยครับพวกผมจะคว้าแชมป์มาให้ได้
Alright, so thank you so much everyone for keep supporting us. Like we already made it to the grand final, so right now we're gonna start playing at around 1 p.m. So in Thailand it's supposed to be around 6 p.m. and I hope you guys gonna be enjoying in our games.
Ah, so cute. Okay, one more question. If you guys are the champion, how many games you guys will made it? Like how many games from the champions?
คิดว่าต้องใช้กี่เกมครับจนกว่าเราจะเป็นแชมป์ได้ในการแข่งขันวันนี้
เพราะว่ามาตรฐานมันอยู่ไม่เกิน10 เกมครับน่าจะเป็นแชมป์ได้แต่ว่าถ้าเป็นโดยปกติแล้วรายการอื่นแต่ถ้ารายการนี้ทีมตึงขนาดนี้ผมให้ไม่เกิน12 เกมครับ
Normally it's gonna be around 10 games, but for this time there's so many strong teams, so many strong candidates. So I would say around 12.
Okay, we got our first number 12. Buriram United Esports. Thank you, Wasana, so much, and thank you to our translator as well. This is the end of our interview, and please continue to support your favorite team for Buriram United Esports or any team that is here in the final stage of EWC 26 Free Fire. See you guys in a bit.
Good to hear from one of the favorites to possibly lift this championship at the end of the day. And the reason why we have to focus on that squad is because they were the top dogs out of the groups, especially when it came down to points. They were averaging about 19.7 points. And this is why they're part of our PS5 story of the day. Not only them, it's going to be EVOS as well because they're the defending champions. But going back to Buriram, honestly, if there was ever a time to be able to lift that EWC trophy, it will be today.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. They have managed to do it in the global finals for FFWS already. So I don't think they will be slowing down. And you did put a little bit of numbers. Not only did they get that average points, when we compare them with EVOS Divine, it seems like they are quite equal in both placement as well as elimination. But the only difference is, or what is favoring Buriram United, is the number of times they are in top 3. Because they did end up 8 out of 12 to be on that spot. So it's very difficult to have that on, especially when they are playing in Kalahari as well as Nextera.
And with the match format that we're going to be doing, right? The format for today, we got a chance to hear earlier, but just to recap for everybody, it is going to be a format as in match point. They have to make sure they reach the threshold, which is currently set at 90 points. And with the consistency that you're currently setting, by the way, we're going to be playing unlimited games. We don't have currently a marker, but a team that you mentioned as well. And I know, Conchita, you really want to talk about this one because I personally, this is one of my soft spots for me for today. It's going to be none other than EVOS Divine. They already have their name on one of those totems, and it was actually the totem from last year. They're looking to do it again. A lot of people have been saying it was going to be more difficult, but honestly, with the way that they're performing during groups, it's not looking that difficult.
Well, let's talk about numbers first, shall we? I mean, EVOS Divine did go straight to the final. They finished second with 229 points. That is beneath Buriram, of course, but they have 134 elimination points and 3 Booyah as well. So they do have what it takes to go to the final and be a contender. But I have to be honest, it's not going to be easy for EVOS because looking at the map, looking at the teams that also made it to the final, I see that a lot of drop zones and a lot of rotations are going to clash with Lyon. And we all know Lyon is so good at playing quick, efficient games. They are quick with the rotation, efficient with the player changing. So I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge. I mean, just look at the statics that Lyon have yesterday in match 9 during the survival stage. They just went for it. They had 25 elimination points and a Booyah, 14,940 damage points with a whopping 20.70% of target shots. That is amazing. I mean, they came with a clutch, and EVOS Divine, looking at numbers also, that's not something that I'm really proud of, especially going through the year. But I think if we're talking about determination, if we're talking about what they are willing to do to actually make that back-to-back happen, they might have a slight chance.
Yeah, and for EVOS, they're going to be looking for Wasana to be able to perform. Something I know you've been keeping a close eye on, Neptune, is those skills that they're going to be using.
Yeah, especially if he is given the opportunity to get to that Oscar, the Valiant Dash. No blue walls will be safe. No opponent will be left standing in there. And we rarely see it out of Wasana, but the best opportunity they have to counter that, or some of the teams right here, is to add that with a pet like Dreki, because they know exactly when they are trying to heal up. So that's the best advantage they have for a rusher like Wasana.
And if we're talking about teams that have won previously here at EWC, even though it is mostly a completely different roster, we have to talk about Team Falcons because yesterday was a big step up for this squad, and they showcased that they can also get those booyahs.
Yes, I am so excited because I finally got their first booyah of the tournament. I mean, yesterday at the survival stage, it proves that it's never too late, and it sent them to the 3rd position. I mean, that is crazy. 105 elimination points, and it was game 8, was it, that they got 21 elimination points and 13,200 damage points with 1,044 average survival time. That is so amazing. Now that is a statistics that I wouldn't want to miss.
And for all the squads, honestly, at one point you might just, you know what? Throw those note cards away, throw everything away, because today is either make it or break it. Go for broke for them. Make sure that you're actually going to be able to lift that trophy up at the end. Be consistent and become the Free Fire at EWC champion. Ladies and gentlemen, the finals start now.
चलो स्टार्ट होगा
It all come down to this. Just 12 teams remain in the battle for supremacy on the Giria City Grid. Teams who have poured their hearts out on the main stage, and today they go again. So join us as we welcome your finalists to the stage, starting with S8UL Esports. Lyon! Buriram United Esports. Loud Sneakers. AGAL. Team Apex Gaming. Twisted Minds. MIBR.LOS. Your reigning club champions, Team Falcons. Fluxo W7A. Team RRQ. And finally, your defending champions of EWC, EVOS Esports. Whether you are the favorite or the underdog, you all have the same goal to lift that trophy and claim the lion's share of $1 million. Today on this stage, history will be made, a legacy will be cemented, and a champion will be crowned. So welcome to the finals of Free Fire at the Esports World Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Free Fire at the Esports World Cup in Paris.
It is time for grand finals of Free Fire at the Esports World Cup. So no time to wait anymore. I think it is time to introduce our teams.
Bom, eu considero muito que a gente é mais forte por conta que eu tenho muita confiança no meu time, em mim mesmo.
It's all about the timing.
ก็รู้สึกดีใจที่ได้เข้ารอบชิงครับแล้วก็อยากทำผลงานในรอบชิงให้ดีที่สุดครับอยากได้แชมป์
Members of the Falcons on fire. Loud is
And they won't be denied.
สำหรับผมก็น่ากดดันครับถ้าได้เข้ารอบมาในแกรนด์ไฟนอลทุกทีมคือเก่งหมดเลย
Eu sou muito confiante em mim mesmo e no meu time, mas nada tirando o mérito da Loud nem do Fluxo em si.
ทีมที่อยากจะเอาชนะได้มากที่สุดผมคิดว่าน่าจะเป็นบุรีรัมย์แล้วก็เอจิโกบอลเพราะว่าเป็นทีมไทยแล้วก็ตึงทั้งสองทีมแล้ว
The battle falls at the very end.
หลังจากเล่นรอบกรุ๊ปสเตจเสร็จครับก็รู้สึกว่ามีทีมที่เก่งเยอะครับผมเยอะกว่าที่คิดก็เลยทำให้ต้องทำแผนแล้วก็เล่นให้ดีขึ้นกว่าเดิมครับ
ย
มีโอกาสได้เห็นเนี่ยผมจะทำทุกอย่างเพื่อให้ทีมได้แชมป์
Só queria agradecer a torcida de sempre. Se Deus quiser aí a gente vai erguer esse troféu aí por vocês.
Nothing is given, everything is earned, and for sure every single one of these teams on stage today made it here from their sweat, blood, and tears.
There's a lot of teams that is looking forward to this moment, especially those who struggled in the survival stage and those who were watching after that group stage.
This is the finals here at Esports World Cup 2026 Paris. Free Fire seeing its biggest of the competitions and the biggest of names now made their way to the stage. They have unlimited games, but not the same in terms of the eliminations. They have unlimited challenges in front of them, but not the same when it comes to the eliminations because somebody else might take it away. They all start in our match number 1. My name is Lucifer. With me on desk is Neptune as well as Stash Bunny, and we will take you through the grand finals for this very first match.
Yeah, it is loud out here. We have the fans coming here cheering for their teams. We have battles of rivalry, and making it here today was not easy. We had stories of heartbreak. We had stories of comebacks. We had stories of last-minute pushes to make it here. And after all, for good reason, after so long, we are seeing India on the big stage. Lucifer, this must be a big moment for you.
It is not just me, it is for the people of India. It is for the players of India. It's for the community of India to see for the very first time. Imagine, they step onto Esports World Cup and there are 3 teams. And on day 1, nothing happens. Day 2, Team Apex Gaming end up getting 2 booyahs and that rallies up the entire other squads. And survival stage starts off. We end up seeing an Indian booyah to start things off. SAT will then follow up. Tag follow up. Back to back, a lot of cascading things happening. And Neptune, you mentioned, out of the 10 games we had, 5 ended up going to India.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that has been brought in by India right now, and this is a real surprise. It's not only teams, it's not only viewers out there, even the talents, because at some point they were introduced right here, and there's very little expectation. But now this is where those were broken. There's a lot of challenges that they face, and group stages, like not so much points, but when they went into survival stage, that's when they dominated. Didn't even expect this kind of numbers out of teams. 40% for both Team Apex Gaming as well as SAUL to be able to get to the top 3. And judging from the teams that were part of survival stage, that was not easy.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. And might say most importantly, I don't know what it is, the mentality, right? Coming into day number 2. I remember AJ was saying, hey, even if you get 1 Indian team up there, it's already really good. Well, lo and behold, we have 2 onto the big stage. And most importantly, the consistency that came in during the survival stage, during, the elimination day as well, was shocking. It was night and day. I'm not too sure what happened the night before. I'm not too sure what they talked about. I'm not too sure what the coaches were happening. And this is where, I think everyone's getting very, very cautious because no team should be looked down upon. No team should be underestimated. And in this situation today, everything is up in the air.
Yeah, everything is going to be earned. That's the status of our grand stage now. But talking about this, there is one team that I'm pretty sure upset majority of the Southeast Asian teams who wanted to be here in the grand finals yesterday in survival stage. That is none other than Lyon. They roared yesterday. Their name completely glittering and golden rays of sun.
Yes.
They took the stage up on a storm and now they are here. Yes, the other giants are still here, but they are one to look out for.
Yeah, speaking of Lyon, since we're going to start this first map, Lyon numbers, they are the ones on top. They get 1 booyah out of this, and they total 75 every time, or for all the games that they played in Solaro. So I'm really looking forward to this, and we talked about this. This is one of the newest maps in Free Fire right now, and there's still a lot of challenges. Be being encountered by the team. So those who really make the adjustment and study this hard, it has a good chance of grabbing that booyah.
Yeah, I think if anything's up in the air right now, we talked a little bit about what it means today as you go into the game, right? Because again, the drop slots are going to be swapping. We didn't have the teams that wait all the way to grand finals yesterday as well. So yesterday was a battle of just trying to survive. Today is a battle of going up against the Giants. After all, those names that made it all the way here today had 1 day rest, had some time to dissect the rotations, the drops, the strats, and everything else between. But my question is, can they, overcome the high and momentum that some of these teams had coming in from yesterday itself from survival stage?
Right now, having the high is going to be Fluxo. We've been seeing from the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
They've been highly in terms of their roaring noise that we've been looking forward to cheering for Fluxo W7M. Right as now, Solara has started off Team Apex Gaming and Lyon. They're fighting it out at Eco Drain.
This is what we're talking about. Lyon would be the greatest threat out of India right now because Team Apex Gaming is facing them in Eco Drain. And, well, it's a good thing that KD God does have elevation, does have information. But the only question, though, is who is going to push? Because Joker might have a good chance right now, but not a great weapon to use in those battles.
Here they come right now. Joker waiting in the wings. He's been good with his fights and managing to steal away one more, saving his teammate as well in that process. Still healthy as a four. The shots are good. And the Lions are going completely nuclear right now. 2 in the bag.
We spoke about them roaring and they are not stopping. Wolven in trouble right now. Games King surrounding him, trying to take a trip down the pipe, but it's not going to work out. Joker is also on the other end. That's going to be 3 big eliminations. Eco Drain completely drained out of Team Apex Gaming.
But that's one thing, and in spite of all the engagement that's happening, seems like KD did manage to pull away, and he is going just into the studio. But on the other side, we're also seeing SAUL. Troll has been taken down, but Jack right now trying to defend themselves against Twisted Mind, but you know how twisted they can be. Nord is just ignoring them, and FB5 trying to eliminate.
It's just nasty how these shots are coming through here because Twisted Minds losing their players one by one. Bunny comes close, separated from Nord, but the crossfire is too much to deal with. The bats also will fall next.
Twisted Minds, they tried to go for a challenge, it did not work out. SHL Esports, we were talking about this, their mentality of just going in for those hits, eliminations, that's all in front of their mind, not who they're challenging. And something similar, Buriram United Esports just ended up getting 4 eliminations, almost about to eliminate a whole squad, but that did not happen. But they also need their title. Husky was mentioning, the one title that they need in their cabinet is EWC.
Oh, yeah, let's see though, because they have been going for the hub drop for so many times already when it comes to this map, and I was just surprised that someone is really challenging them. But going back to challenge, earlier it was Lyon taking out Team Apex Gaming, now it is Fluxo who's trying to beat them down, and there goes Joker, not really joking around, but let's see if they'll be able to fight back.
This area is so hot right now because on top of Fluxo, we also have AGL here too. Della barely alive, waiting in the wings, hoping that Fluxo will move away, but they have marked the heck out of him as well. A lot of pressure, a lot of util coming to him, and finally knocked down as well. There we go, Bobs will find him in the end, but AGL wants to challenge this phase.
Oh, here comes a new challenger, AGL right now, and this just looks like a good storyline because everyone is going into Eco Drain, and if you lose this, everything will go down the drain.
They will indeed. Fluxo, they want to make sure that they're the ones who are on top of this. They're the ones who pull that key lever and take AGL if possible. But AGL, they're quick on this. They're on their heels, see the slide rails, and decide to get out. They don't want this early engagement. We've been talking about AGL haven't found their title yet. They've been striving for it. They tried to get closer, but right now, it seemed like it was a distraction. He knocks the player, will try to get a confirmation, but right now, Fluxo not giving it, but still he will secure Butsin's elimination.
It's nice seeing this duo was barely alive right now, managing to go for that reset, and they can just bide their time. Wasn't aware that Fluxo would be able to answer back, and they're looking good. Yeah, Butsin's out, but they're going to be able to bring him back into the game, and there you go, so quickly. The only team right now that is currently down and out, at least with only one player left, is MIBR.LOS, and for the rest of the team, rotations could come in from a different side here, but I think for Fluxo, finding Blind you might be key. Spots him out, sees him, but over on this side here, RRQ did cross paths with Yago and somehow survives. No! Gets him in the end, and LOS wasn't able to survive for as long as he wanted.
You spoke too soon, Cash, and now RQ will be getting that 4 elimination to their side. But there's another one that is just waiting in the shadows. It's Team Falcons right now. And this has been one of the rivalries that has been happening in Southeast Asia. But Team Falcons, you know how their signature is. They won't be going in carelessly. They want to get information out of teams right now. And even RQ might be able to be caught off guard, but they are just waiting. Look at the discipline out of Team Falcons.
Information's gotten Mahal finds that is what long start. Nero's Flushy being in trouble position revealed. He'll also be taken down. That's a pair and more on. He tries to pull up the chrono, but for how long will he survive? Surrounded by 3 players from RRQ, and RRQ gets 7 total eliminations and trouble the reigning club champions.
How is this happening? When we saw the Falcons throughout the entirety of this week, they were the ones hunting, they were the ones taking up that space and winning, but now, silence.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he needs silence right now, though he doesn't have the stealth bites to pull away. He does have the Skylar, the Riptide with him, but I'm surprised they didn't use that to at least save their teammates, because they were covered in blue walls right there, and it does have an angle take when it comes to the snipe. But I guess priority is bring back the teammates. Once one goes down, you always go for the pen machine.
The starting always for Falcons has been similar like this. The story, unfortunate for them. But right now, a change in Lyon's favor right now. Twisted Minds, we saw them suffering a little because of Buriram United, but now they change and turn the tides. Twisted Minds, this is a team that everybody did not have much expectations on, but they were the ones who made it at the top in Group B. Now, Diamond, the last man, will have to make a quick run, try to go in for a revive. But when we talk about the revive, look at the circle. It's made a revive of a battle as it's moved completely north.
Yeah, this hard shift's got about to be crazy. The southern side there, the shift, I would call it the Great Migration, is about to be insane. It's about to be bloody as well. And speaking of bloody, the Perang Serumput about to happen.
Well, let's see, this is a replay from where RRQ did manage to take down a few, or not a lot of players out of LOS. Now, as we look back into RRQ, it's Twisted Mind, and they are challenging as well. Pino just got revived, but seems like they are still on no elimination streak.
RRQ have lost stats. They might have gotten the 8th elimination. Rams is in trouble. Riptide rhythm. Chrono being pulled down. What a shot on the ACAT. Puts Diamond down instantly. And Twisted Minds thought they might be up on the battle because of number disadvantage. And now RRQ is getting closer. Diamond's confirmation comes through. But the boss, he decides that the revive's important rather than an exchange of a battle.
Here we go there. Twisted Minds managing to find a bit more space to work with. Don't want to overstep because RRQ does have a bit more space to work with. They have no clue where the crossfires are coming through here. Sees one shot coming through here. One of his teammates does get picked up by Abe, but they're not done. The knock comes through, and here comes that collapse. Gonna drain down that utility, but nothing really set in stone. Gets one. Twisted Minds getting dropped one by one, but Abe will fall in return. Both teams suffering heavy losses. Wasn't taking into account of the crossfire and the later rotation coming in from Twisted Minds, but Maal answers back. Abe will not be able to be saved here.
And Riptide really was deadly. If it wasn't for the Tide Turner, they could have fallen already. Let's see though, because Twisted Mind, despite of all the elimination, it's RQ who has the most on the numbers, but who's coming in to join the party? It is Team Lion roaring right now against these two teams.
Stella has already found the opening. Diamond's down as well now. Joker gets that confirmation instantly, and whatever Twisted Minds did is all put to rest.
Both teams are left with one, RRQ and Twisted Mind, and that's when they need to move. Because even before that battle ended, the zone is already moved away from them. There's a lot of travesty that might be happening right now because there's still a lot of teams waiting into the next foe.
And speaking about waiting here, Buriram United, as usual, quiet in that early game, but somehow they've already gotten 5 eliminations here. DAG waiting in the wings. They need to take this fight to be able to get, they will take the fight to keep Buriram United away from the compound. Not happening quite yet, and now Wasana with the sprays on top side, bit of do.
Chrono being used by Team Apex Gaming. They will survive this, but there's Jonah and the shield gun peppering them one after another. Jonah gets a double as well as he puts two of the players down. Wasana wants the confirmation, is not letting them go. Along with Jonah, two players from Team Apex Gaming are put to rest, and Wasana wants to take this battle even closer.
Well, most people say don't you go chasing waterfalls, but Buriram is chasing them away from this area, and now they might be able to get in onto the next phase of circle. But there's a lot of teams who has been forced into north right now, and we know that they're very near to Riders Club, and we'll have to find out. There's a lot of contention that will be happening, especially for Team Falcons, who uses that as their drop. But going back to Buriram United, the battle's not yet over between them and Team Apex Gaming. Wolfman being shot at with a quick scope from Jonah.
He just got dropped, and now even Sailjan. Jonah is looking unstoppable with his car 98 kill. That is 9 total eliminations, and Jonah has 7 of it. He has taken 7 of the eliminations, and Team Apex Gaming still stuck in the same compound. What does KD God and Shoto do to make it through from here?
At this point, just wait. What can you do? You don't want to take this fight. You want to be able to survive and go for that reset here. But as for Buriram United, are they going to go hunting is the question. Might be. Besides, just move away from the area just for a little bit more time. Could cross paths to the players for Twisted Minds on the top side.
Well, I see now, Buriram United, the same strategy that they have been doing for the longest time. Don't go into the next phase of circle just yet. Just wait into the edge until it collapses. But there's still a lot of problems that we need to face later on. And from what we're seeing for Team Falcons, they're holding their ground quite well. Despite of not getting elimination, they still have that high ground and run. Club.
Lyon, at least for the time being, safe keep. Activate the Steffi. The painted refuge will protect them for the time being. But now they have to get closer. Falcon shots, they're not connected as best as they would have wanted, and the start has also not been great. However, an answer back is something that we spoke about. Tag have somehow found something. But Lyon, their challenge and their entry, and they find a player from Twisted Minds somewhere in the scares.
You know what's really crazy looking at Lyon right now? They're able to not only take this fight, but even throw bodies as a 4. EVOS in trouble. Ray barely alive right now, taking a lot of damage for Guacos. And now the Lal and the Wade. And speaking of Lal and Wade, Fluxo, their members getting completely swarmed.
Oh, this is the battle that everyone has been waiting for. Buriram United going against Fluxo. But we've seen Fluxo lose 2 of their players, and the jump is on. But the set of the zone might force them to move away. MT7 as well as Gio right now just holding their ground. But Jonah with that stealth bites, using that Moors. A surprise hit might be done. And great timing for the combination of Wasana as well as get high for that push and probably the elimination.
There's a counter. Gio for the timing, but doesn't work again. The shield gun coming through. And this time it's going to be get high. And Buriram United Esports, they will be able to put a rest to that aggression. And with that, we also see SAQL Esports getting eliminated. A lot of losses, one after another, as Solara has very less space.
Yeah, not a lot of space, and everyone seems to have found a small part of that pie. But the Falcons, look at their positioning on the top of this building, and you've seen how much damage they can do with the snipers, with the long-range weapons, and most importantly, the ones on the bottom side here are going to have to compete for that space. Meanwhile, for Shoto in trouble, AGL putting that pressure onto him, and this guy has been the hero for this team, pulling them out from so many very, very dire situations. But in this situation, they can't do more than that, because it's going to be Buriram United steals away the point, and AGL not a lot of space to work with.
AGL, they have just a bus to protect themselves, but on the other hand, Buriram, they have an entire compound. It seems like a farming land for themselves. 15 eliminations. This is game number 1. They're looking unstoppable. Riptide Rhythm, they want to break down AGL. Nothing's working. Flash freeze, Nate's being tossed. Riptide Rhythm again. AGL might get closer. Doesn't work. Varos is down. Cypher, Nameless, and you trying to close the distance. But AGL, their numbers have lost. 9 eliminations. Again, a player opening found Wasana. Might have been traded off by 2. Nameless is going with the Trogan. Moshi holding it off. And now Wasana also down. Moshi, the only one, and AGL somehow have changed this.
Well, the quick revival for Buriram United might be the saving grace for Team Buriram United. AGL did put up a great fight, but 2 is still at it, and he is going for that 1
1v2. Will he be able to survive? The answer is no. And they were going for a risky approach, especially in this phase 4 of the circle. That HP or that zone will be damaging their HP. And I don't know what could have been done at that point for AGAL, but Buriram United was just waiting for it. It's just unfortunate that they lost 2 of their players.
So binoculars used as well. Gives away the game for so many of these teams, but Buriram United not down and out yet. Loud is here as Guacos will be the next victim. A little angle seen by Rasha wants to be abused. A double swing as well, making sure that no one survives the initial skirmish. And the Lions cannot survive longer. Down and out, 3 teams left.
Thanks to AimGod, EVOS has still survived. But the dash coming out from Falcons, that was crazy. Almost ended up putting EVOS to rest.
Now, this is an ending that we haven't seen for a long time. And no full squad in contention. 3 remains, 2v2v2. But we are seeing Moshi. And there have been a lot of comments wherein Moshi could have been putting that much on the snipe already. But this is a place to really show up.
Look at the last 3 teams. How much do they have in surviving? Just 2 each. It's a 2v2v2. EVOS, Loud and Buriram United. EVOS are the defending EWC 25 champions. Now looking forward to EWC 26. Loud, they won the very first trophy for Brazil, and Buriram United on the biggest in the cabinet, that is EWC.
Jonah will be the heavy hitter for this game, but a box falls. Moshi, great shot coming in from the area. But the circle is shifting and everyone is just trying to find that space, but Loud is a little bit quicker to the zone. They have positions, they have the high ground angles, and it gives a lot of question marks for the rest of the teams for their rotations.
Well, as you say, first to the circle, first to the win. Let's see if they'll be able to pull it off. And God, not so much of contention. Even with a inhaler, he might not be able to survive. He did manage to go for a clutch, a 1v2 in this fight. And now he has to deal with 2 players from Team Loud.
He got help from Loud. That is the reason Buriram United instantly shut down. But as you said, it is a 1v2. Look at him sneakily walking across, crouching, making sure. Loud have no idea, but BCP has spotted him. AimGod, SVD, can he connect the first? If he can bring it down to 1v1, it's better. But the information delayed. And as long as time passes, it is Loud that will surround him. And we know Nix, he's such a good. And once he gets to the CQC, he will instantly put the player down.
He's rushing forward here right now. If he's able to just go for the 1v1, it'll be really good. His shots go wide, but the crunching from different angle. The respect's given. And Loud makes sure they secure their first booyah of the day.
Team Loud. Loud Snickers are the loudest to start the Free Fire here at Esports World Cup 26 Paris' Grand Finals. What a game coming in, and Nix, we knew he had this potential. They were waiting to get to the final, started off, and in the very first game for Brazil, they opened with a booyah.
Oh, this is what everyone has been looking forward to. Who's going to get that first booyah? But we also seen a lot of nation from the other teams who didn't make it this far. Let's take a look at the replay right now, and this is one phenomenal play coming from EVOS, but it's just unfortunate that the pressure is on, not only on those HP, but also on that zone.
Oh no, crazy work coming in from Loud as well. I think one thing is for sure though, we all had our favorites. We saw our favorite players just completely farming it out. But when it matters the most, that final moment, Loud prioritizing positioning over these fights gave them so much extra advantage to just give them not only the booyah, but those extra placement points.
Yeah, they needed it. They wanted a good start. We've been seeing Loud. We even spoke about it, right? In the group they were in, they were very consistent. They ended up getting 2 booyahs to start things off. But Buriram United Esports, unfortunate for them, they had an opportunity. They should have been the ones closing it. Look at them. Without the booyah, they have 30 total points, 22 eliminations. If not for Loud Snickers, if not for Nix from that far angle, finding a clash and helping AimGod out, we would have seen Buriram with the win.
I mean, we've seen this aside from before. Even in group stages.
Yeah.
Like, they did manage to get 23, so this is not even close to the record that they have. But I'm really
loving this side of BRU. The aggression is really needed, especially first match of the day, because it's not just the booyah that is needed by the team in this early parts. It's more of farming the numbers to get to that 90.
You know what's really insane? I think I said to them, well, it's going to be a bit more quiet from Buriram United early, and it was. But throughout all of that, Jonah was farming so many eliminations. Out of all of that, I believe he had like, 13 to 15 eliminations by himself. And for now, who better to break it down for us other than the analysts later? We'll be right back before we go to them.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the breed, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights. Better keep right, I'm champion.
I moved from a small town to a big town like São Paulo, and they always hugged me, made me part of the family. We started with a little since we were W7M in the past, and now we are Fluxo W7M. Literally hugged me and made me part of the family. I feel that I'm part of everything that's happening, and they give me the chance to come here, and for real, it's like more family than my family real. Mostly important game in Brazil since they made the chance for everyone first to be here, first to play. Like the owner of Fluxo Nobru was a professional player from nowhere, become the highest, the toppest guys in Brazil, in the world. So everyone knows Nobru in Free Fire. And I think that the most important thing about games is the feeling that make you feel part of and to give you a chance to prove yourself. Never came to Paris and never came to this side of Europe, and it's incredible. We went to Eiffel Tower in day, night. Paris looks like an art piece. Everywhere you look, it looks like an art piece, looks like a movie. So it's very, very beautiful.
Well, let's get loud here for Free Fire. I'm Lace, joined by Conchita, and look, the Brazilian teams are arguably some of the best teams that we have in the competition today, and they have a lot to try and earn today, taking over the Southeast Asia team. They really, really want this, and of course, Loud coming out with 33 points and 22 eliminations, Conchita. What an exceptional start for our Brazilian teams.
Yes, of course, but if we're talking about Brazilian teams, isn't it also a surprise to see LOS got sent back really soon to the lobby, and RRQ from Indonesia was the one who got them sent back. I mean, yes, RRQ did drop at Delta Isle, and they had to fight their way through LOS. They managed to get out. I mean, I am pretty proud of RRQ today, even though they didn't get that much points. They had to fight against Falcons, which they managed to edge out. They also had a very intense meeting with Twisted, who almost got them twisted. But all in all, EVOS Divine was also very phenomenal. I mean, that was crazy. The last fight with Aim God as the last man standing, I am just so excited.
I mean, of course we want to see all these teams do incredibly well, but it looks like Loud is leading the pack at the moment. But of course, we're going to get the game started sooner than later. And let's throw it over to Tash, Lucifer. Let's go.
And also so, Neptune. It's okay. I haven't forgotten you. Now, we are hearing right now that Loud is currently the team that is leading the pack, at least in terms of Booyah. But points-wise, though, it's still in favor of Buriram United. After all, it is the first map. But showcasing our skills on the second map when everyone's in momentum is going to change.
Yeah, well, definitely it needs to change right now because from what we're seeing, they're already 1/3 of what is needed right now to be able to activate that match point. But judging from where everyone is dropping for the flight path that we have, and for a fact that this is my favorite map, the skew flight path or somewhat skew flight path that we've seen might have forced the team to go in for those hot drops. But look at that, Team Luxo and Team Apex Gaming. I think they're going to start it hot on that goal course.
Sahiljad is the closest, and there it is. Bullets being rattled. And Uzi, but also a scar on hand. Dash from Butson. The Sahil dodges that. Glue wall being used, but I don't think he has enough resources for the very start. And Butson is quick on it. Gets the very first elimination of our match 2. I really like that you mentioned this match point. Everybody needs to understand it's no more about getting to the top of the charts. It's about reaching 90 points. And that's what EVOS want to do, but will be failed because of Cypher. AGL also missed their opportunity just because of how Buriram somehow held themselves, because AGL looked like they were about to shut down Buriram.
Yeah, I mean, the silent AGAL was there almost getting into it. But now, with that Cypher elimination, they're now ahead of EVOS. We'll have to see, though, because we still have Ray and Rasia in play. A little with Pecker coming from Ray. This could be the game changer if in case Do moves up that hill. But knowing Do and knowing the potential of any other sniper in this competition, he will not be going there.
It's going to be very interesting because we've seen so many resets coming through from EVOS this early. I would say around disadvantages have been, I would say, saved so many times from these teams. Regardless, as we look through the area right now, no one's really too actively going for fights. The southern side, though, very interesting to me.
While we're discussing about how the southern side would be where teams will be fighting out, Buriram again find one more on EVOS. It seems like Buriram is looking unstoppable. They do not want to stop, but so does even Tag. Sahiljad might have been lost, but now an opportunity for Shoto. Mahal spotted, but damage is the only thing that was done. No knock, and good for Shoto is the entire RRQ is still not here, so Tag is rallying towards this fight.
From what I'm seeing, we have 3 teams on the southern island of Purgatory, and Fire Brigade might need those fire trucks later on because RRQ then managed to start it off on a lightning zone just to make sure that they have a little bit of advantage when they try to go in for a rush on Central, and they are targeting Team Apex Gaming, but Team Apex Gaming knows what they need to be done. Lightning zone is here, just hide out on those rooftops.
And most importantly as well, we also seeing the rotations coming in from the Falcons. And meanwhile, over this side, LOS currently wanting to catch up in the points that they had missed out earlier. Now Rahone on one side here, tagged onto EVOS players, but Abax from downtown managing to steal the point away. But they're not done quite yet, being so aware of the positioning where Yago is and the rest. AGL also close by.
Very difficult for MIBR.LOS. They were not only fighting with one team, but AGL, look at Cypher. This might be a distraction because his teammates are close by. But defending a 1v1 is going to be difficult with Yago lost. MIBR.LOS, they already went out with 0 points in the previous game, and now if they do it, it's going to be even more tougher.
You might be right with that Cypher being the main, and there goes the pause! The first time ever in EWC, we see that knock up with a vehicle, and they only have 1 left out of MIBR.LOS, but nothing is at a loss right now. A full revive has happened.
Yeah, and now they go again, this time against EVOS. AimGod takes a bit of damage here, Barrows bought a bit of time, and throughout all that, AMAX has already been stolen away into the lobby. AimGod tries to go for the reset. Valiant dashes away to safety for the time being. EVOS stuck, rushes forward. HP so very low by AimGod, but now for Ray, gonna be swarmed by all the members of AGAL, not able to survive.
This is why your skills are important. Electrotherapy protecting them for far so long. That is the reason EVOS couldn't fight back. They had only 2 members and them getting taken down. Thankfully, that's not a full elimination, but there was an elimination that happened. That is Team Apex Gaming and Falcons. Seems like game number 2 is their comeback.
LSU, they can come back right now. They are just going into the edge of the circle, still hanging on that south side, and they thought they might be able to find someone on Central, but they were a little bit too late to party right now. But from what we're seeing, they are gathering all the loot that they have, and they're just going for the basic gameplay. Silent in the beginning, and then deadly towards mid to end. But the only question, though, is how they're going to find their way into the next phase of the circle. We still have a few moments before it closes in and the second phase shows up, but the battle between AGAL and EVOS is not yet done.
EVOS, what is happening? Apex will be able to revive, but look at AGAL Cypher. Right to the face with the M590 Valiant Dash. And now another conversion. 9 elimination. AGL what they missed out because of Buriram in the previous game. They want to make it happen. 30 points what Buriram pulled off. AGL want to do it. This is what we've been talking. Buriram have earned titles. They are our World Series global champions of 25. Now they want an EWC championship in their name. Falcons, they want to get back to their win.
Formed by all the members of AGAL, not able to survive.
This is not a full elimination, but there was a circle still hanging on that south side, and they thought they might be able to find someone on Central, but they were a little bit too late to party. Face shows up, but the battle between AGAL.
This map, while it looks quiet on this side, is hectic on the rest of the areas.
Elosino is here looking at LOS right now, who might be chilling like a villain at this moment, but we are seeing a few players, not only from Team Falcons from the south, but also our youth from the north. So the pinch might happen right now, but again, we are just waiting for the shift of that next phase. And as you see it, both of the 3 of the teams are in there right now, and look at the numbers that these players has been bringing in. And we have highlighted already, the number that they can put in the fight, that only shows why Jonah and Moshi is the best players so far in this lobby.
But you see in the mix of it, there's Dew. That was the reason how AGL almost looked like they would survive. Did not still, but now this is game 2. Purgatory, a lot could change, and that's what Falcons also want to. MIBR.LOS, they want to change their fate from getting out of 0 points to at least something, but it so far doesn't seem to be the case. Even SAQL, they want their points, but Mahal 77 says that is going to be an elimination, and right at the riverbank will sweep away SAQL's chances once again.
Well, Mahal, the deadly sniper from Indonesia, right now going solo. Rest of the squad still not found in this map, but I know there is a plan. They are the mastermind into the stealth mode. With that, the stealth wise, using that more skill, they might be heading in to where this engagement is happening between Loud and MIBR.LOS.
General taking a lot of damage right now. Bare Life managing to just survive the pressure coming in from Loud. This high ground gives them so much value. But Joker on the other side, they're managing to pick off here, but Loud hasn't been moved quite yet. The lightning zone does come through. General falls, and now Keroro, the Falcons, decide to join in as well. BZP still hasn't picked up already. Keroro finding a nice angle to work with, goes a bit wide, finally getting that shot onto Nyx, but the Falcons as well are suffering heavy damage. Bina, Keroro fall, and right now both teams are barely alive. What are they to do here? Because the RRQ gang has decided to join in.
Falcons had a second chance. They instantly went for the revive. So there is a lifeline for them. But Loud, they're trapped. Trap was the only savior. He used the M79 to bail it out, but he is certainly surviving at the bottom of the hill. And RRQ now charging it. They will get on fire. That's an added elimination. But can he hold off? Can Falcons actually make a comeback? They're close by. If he holds off for the time being, then RRQ, they might get surrounded once again.
Now that's one thing that we can depend on fire. He can go for the distraction while the rest of the team is setting up. But there goes on fire launch pad right now, but it was Limit who was been taken down by a different squad. AGAL has inserted a coin. He is now ready to be the next challenger in this battle. But from this moment, once the third phase is closing in, we expect the teams to slow down, but again, they are chasing and hungry for those points.
You want to be able to keep up. Again, we started this map 1/3 of the the way to match point. You don't want to allow a team to run away with that. We talked a little bit about Buriram United having a quiet start, and this map in particular has been extra for them as well. However, positioning-wise, they look really good right now, taking their time, and it's just open areas in front of them. They don't really have to really fight their way into the zone.
Fighting is the only name of the game today. Everybody has to, because of the match point condition that they have to fulfill if they want to become the champions at the end of the day. Fluxo, not the best start that they have also had here in Purgatory. How do they get out of it? They go back towards the vending machine to recover their players first. A revival point is also close, but they have enough coins and they will get the player back up. 4 all strong together.
Now, so far for Fluxo, they do have 3 of those team boosters put up, and one of which would be the out-of-zone buff. So that's the reason why they can soak outside of that circle. But there's one thing that they need to worry about. The shift has already moved to campsite, and we've seen AGAL already holding on, taking the high ground, and this is deadly, especially in this kind of situation. Same goes for EVOS, and Russia is just waiting for the opportunity. Might be able to pull out that launch pad. A little bit of exchange though, as it's over to Ray, just in case they need to pull out. They will be able to do it and fly away.
The situation here, the wait is on. I mean, both teams very, very comfortable in their little corners of that map. I'm just waiting for this initiation to happen now. Now, looking at everyone right now, the Lyon, plays for Fluxo and Lyon later on rotation would be interesting to see, but Abe pressuring the members onto the other side here. No one is truly comfortable, regardless of whether or not they are in the zone.
RQ is happy they got this spot. Falcons left it and the circle still keeps the position of the containers and they will keep it. AGL, however, they know about this position. Falcons, because they left this position and moved towards the vending machine, they also have an idea. So right now, RRQ have to be wary that they're enemies in the closest surroundings, and especially that they're out in the open, anybody could target them. But targeting, when we speak about it, Twisted Minds, they did that in Group B and took the top spot. And now what do they do to get those points?
Well, let's see though, because they are very close against a Team Falcons and also trapped from behind, and they get the next phase of the circle. So no one will be moving away from campsite, but for those who are surrounding as well as jumping in across that river, trouble is brewing. Buriram United against Fluxo once again, and let's see though who's going to win. The lightning zone has been triggered, and no one is moving that much because they don't want to hit by that wolf maker. But from what we've seen from Fluxo, they are just holding their ground, not letting Buriram United in. The gatekeep is on.
Yeah, the high ground here is good, but Wasana great to take away that space, and they are going to collapse. Great work from Fluxo to take away that space to keep the rest of Buriram United at bay. MT7 just now almost getting knocked down here, but I'm loving the fact that they're so patient in keeping them away. Now, Buriram United forced to reposition, but meanwhile, MIBR.LOS gonna take this fight head on against AGAL.
MIBR.LOS, so far still no eliminations, but they're close to AGAL, who have the highest in the lobby, 11 in total. Can there be more for AGAL, or is it going to be vice versa? MIBR.LOS open up with their very first damage being done. Valiant dash being used. Rigby with the Bison finds Barros. That is the opening, and they're all stuck inside the away. This is going to be difficult. Cypher also caught out, surrounding with the glue walls. General jumping across the board, and Rigby finds that's nameless. And then the last to answer with that AGL will be put to rest, and MIBR.LOS turn the tides.
Oh, stuck in one trailer when they thought they will be able to go for a pickup, and with one glue wall, they do have the windows open. But speaking of windows open, window is opening for Team Falcons, especially with the limit on those knives. And same goes with Twisted Mind. And who is the target? The one and only Wasana, who is just going solo right now. And that's 1 out of 2 remaining players. Make that one or none about 1 remaining players out of Buriram United.
Yeah, cannot really move, but Moshi is still around. The question is whether or not he's going to be able to survive all the way till the end. As for Twisted Minds, they have all the idea in the world now to take out Trap, to be able to take away space from the Falcons. Now, it's going to be difficult. Don't know where exactly everyone's going to be. The lack of information keeps the players at bay. And while all of that is happening, Joker had already been knocked down there by Made in Brazil.LOS.
MIBR.LOS. They needed this opening, they needed this start, and now they're getting eliminations. But the next best team after AGL going out is going to be Twisted Minds with 10 eliminations. But RRQ, they instantly get put out. What was this by Fluxo? Butson, MT7, all of them together put RRQ out. And now Twisted Minds, they have another challenge with Falcons throwing the melters.
6 teams remaining, 4 full squad in this fight. Twisted Minds still holding on, gatekeeping. Team Falcons not to get in, but on the other side, Moshe, the final player from BRU, will be taken down. Now the battle is not yet over. It is MIBR against Fluxo right now. But from what we see, Woodson is just that aggressive F59 in hand, and the rest of the squad is just waiting. They split up on a 2-2.
Fluxo, they need this chance. MIBR.LOS on the other end. Rigby, the man who was finding the openings, he's been taken down. EU is the one, but Glue Wall will protect. They will be able to bring the player back up, but there is MT7. He puts the player general down, and Fluxo are turning this against counterparts from the region. Confirmation on Rigby. Rawan and Yago, the last survivors. Box is down. This is an opportunity, but Sid with the dash. Instantly trying to put one player down, but he will get knocked with the max 7. Coming down to a 1v1, and it's MT7. He finds and ends MIBR.LOS.
And now the collapse happens. They have to shift forward here. Twisted Minds coming through. Loud will be annihilated. And somehow throughout it all, Twisted Minds' patience will be rewarded with a booyah.
Patience truly is a virtue. No, they didn't really rush in against opponents right there. They know the timing that they have to take. Even got a few eliminations from afar. As I always say, aggression from a distance. And this is where they can get all those points. The only question though is it enough?
Yeah, is it enough? I think that's the question everybody's asking them. Especially because in that last fight, right, except for Twisted Minds, who man, they have 12 points, everybody else is wondering, is our elimination as well as placement points enough for us to get back towards the top 5? Because I think at the end of game 2, that's what they have to think about.
It's a good story as well for Twisted Mind right now, because imagine ending the previous map, starting this current game with only 5 points. So they need that additional 12 points from Booyah, as well as any elimination that they managed to pull in that game. But I'm really looking forward to some of the shuffle that will be happening on the airport in a bit, because there's a lot of engagement that we've seen from that match.
We are starting to see, I would say, the consistent teams really just rise to the top, right? But most importantly, right now, I'd like to say that despite some teams not being able to come play or at least shoot back in that one, are starting to rise again in this match.
সেখানে মানে ক্ষমতা হারিয়ে গেছে রিজন রিজন
You can see Cloud was happy about it because they again ended up coming in the hashtag too, because that is enough points to keep them at the top. However, Twisted Minds from Thailand, this is a team that, while the other Thailand teams who are in the top with 1 titles, this is not a team that everybody is eyeing on. But they managed to get the second booyah. This is why today's grand finals here, we were expecting that anything can happen. You cannot count on one team. If you think Buriram is going to get it, no, right now just Twisted Minds did it. Buriram should have had the first booyah, but Loud got it. A lot going on throughout our matches now.
You did mention a second booyah, so technically this is a second booyah of Twisted Mind all throughout the competition. And we rarely see them really on the top 3. 4 out of 12 from when they played in group stage and group B, when they ended up in the top 3. But this is just them switching it up. What I was expecting was just Mind to be just all out aggressive. Yeah, they tried to do so in game number 1, but it did fail. So why not change it up?
Yeah, I mean, changing it up is always really good as well. It throws the, your teammates, your other people, other teams in the lobby, off as well. But what I really like to see as well is just really being able to just really take your time. Being really patient is also really good. We have teams that are really, really aggressive and high energy, and somehow they just really just run out of gas after this.
There's an interview. Let's send it over to Carol.
I like that.
Hello everyone, Carol
Hello,
Bombshell here. It's
everyone.
a pleasure to be here on stage with you guys. Are you guys enjoying Free Fire? The first two match was amazing, but not as amazing that was for this guy over here, Trap, the team captain for Loud team. And of course, you guys had a great start today. Start with Abuya for sure. It was amazing for you. So how important it is to get off to a strong start in the finals so you can reach the match point. Como é que foi para vocês começarem já com um buiazão aí, né? Já tirar essa pressão aí de dentro. É muito importante para vocês já darem esse primeiro buia?
Com certeza, a confiança que já estava alta vai ainda mais lá em cima. Um bui e um top 2 agora, mesmo com as dificuldades da queda, conseguir segurar o top 2 aí. E é isso, não sei ainda a posição que nós está na tabela, mas estamos muito confiantes.
Awesome. As a Brazilian team has never won EWC before. What would it mean to bring the first EWC Free Fire trophy home to Brazil? O time brasileiro nunca ganhou EWC, isso é certo, a gente já sabe. O que significaria para você, como jogador, e para o time da Loud serem os primeiros campeões do EWC, os primeiros brasileiros campeões do EWC?
Se tudo correr bem vai ser incrível, né? Porque ninguém ganhou ainda no Brasil. E quando você consegue uma coisa única, ainda mais satisfatória. E a gente quer muito ser campeão mundial. E ser campeão mundial de uma coisa que ninguém tem vai ser melhor ainda.
Amazing. So basically what he's I'm going crazy right now because getting the first buoy here give us such a great confidence. We get more secure, we can team up even better. We are really happy, but I'm definitely going crazy because I want to know in which position we are in the standings. We know that Buriram was in the first after the first match, but right now we want to know in which positions we find ourselves. And of course, being the first Brazilian team to win at EWC 26 would mean a lot to us, especially representing Loud right now. We know that we can get there, and that's our mission and our goal for today. Thanks so much for the intro to the Trap. We wish you the best of luck for you guys. And of course, me and you are gonna watch a lot more of Free Fire. So keep it up with us and back to the studio.
चाहे आप 10th पास हो 12th पास हो या ग्रेजुएट हो
Your desire to be the MVP, but also the winner here. So, what's more important for you right now, the MVP or to be the winner? Qual que é o seu maior desejo? Você contou pra gente que você quer ser o campeão, obviamente, mas também o MVP. O que você preferiria agora?
Ah, com certeza, sem sombra de dúvidas nenhuma, ser campeão. Mas se vier o campeão MVP, já tá bom demais pra mim também, né?
What it happens if you're the winner but Iago is the MVP? E se acontecesse de você ser o campeão e o Iago MVP?
Ah, não, tá de boa. Aí depois eu pego no Brasil e tá tudo tranquilo também.
Oh, that's okay, because he can be the MVP here, and then I will, of course,
for me. Yeah, boy, thank you very much. 7, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's AJ. I'm the Mustache. We're down here with the one and only Husky, your OG duo of Free Fire, right back on the desk. And man, are the games hot today. Buriram absolutely streaking hot in game number 1, but game 2, Husky, they fizzled out.
Yeah, they did fizzle out, and it was something that, you know, was in the making for almost more than a year.
Yeah.
This is one of the teams that people want them to fill up that cabinet, the final piece of the puzzle with the EWC trophy. But last year, they didn't even hit the threshold to win EWC in Riyadh. And right now, they are a third of the way there. They have more than 30 points towards the threshold of 90. I think a couple more good rounds, give it 2 or 3, BRU, they are going to be in a prime position to take it all back.
And it looks like we are ready for our game already. At Shrines, do we get a hot drop? Because we know EVOS as well as MIBR.LOS usually do drop by here. But thankfully, they will choose the foundation instead. MIBR.LOS will not be disturbed for the time being, but they cannot take that for granted because the potential rotation from EVOS, as they like sticking towards the outer regions of this map before hopping on towards Refinery. And Refinery, on the other hand, is conquered as usual by the kings of Refinery themselves, RRQ.
My attention is going to be on MT Sexy that is now brought in by MIBR.LOS, so General not going to be playing this game. The second thing is also the rotation of BRU. We know that they love to go to command post. The command post is now preoccupied by Lyon instead. BRU up against TAG once more.
Will the Indian squad wake up here in game number 3? At Kalahari, it's usually the Thai teams that have found dominance thus far here at Free Fire and EWC 26. Get high down, Wasana down, and it looks like India just needed Mustacho back on the desk. As Team Apex Gaming absolutely shut down their plays, leaving one final survivor. Can they hunt down the final one? Mochi, the super sniper of Thailand, scurrying away as quickly as possible. No more on his side, no stealth buys. And Team Apex Gaming just need one more. And they did it.
भाई thanks to them.
Yeah, Wasana with his hands on his head because that was an absolute disaster for BRU. RRQ come to life, they find EVOS at Foundation, but EVOS should be out of this. They have 2 more members left. The UAV does ping out Ray. He does have the hook gun in space, but not much cover to work with, so this should be the third for the Kings of Kings. But at least, unlike BRU, EVOS, they have a second win in this game.
A little bit of a civil war here between RRQ and EVOS. But the Team Apex Gaming, who were literally at the very bottom of the leaderboard when we started, can they continue to rise up to the top? They have no idea who they took down. So I don't know if or not it's going to be a huge confidence boost for them. But as long as they can maintain this momentum after winning out that initial gunfight. Loud up against Falcons on the other hand. Mixed with the backstab. And you've got Waka from the front with a VSK. They got that done absolutely well. And now they're going in for the chase. Karoro's going to be stuck all alone here. Icewave's not going to find a tag on him just yet. But Brab cutting down the distance here. Mag 7 in hand. Karoro's about to be popped and he puts him down on the ground. Beautiful play so far from the Brazilian squad.
Now, no way out of that for Karoro. Trap did say during the interview with Caro that they are feeling really good after the first booyah. And they have been local champions multiple times. And one of the things that is missing is this EWC trophy and the World Series finale. But at least for now, RRQ, also a team that only finishes second. They're definitely looking to break that curse here on Paris stage. Abai around the corner, that's going to be Joker down RRQ with their 6th point.
Yeah, easy takedown there, Lyon. Left their player all alone outside just for a little bit of a distraction. And this was that replay, a phenomenal performance from Shoto. And he just shut down the hopes of Buriram in the second game after, once again, a fiery start for your 3-time world champions who have never gotten the first spot here at the Esports World Cup. You're taken out the lobby prematurely. EVOS on the other hand, Lyon after Lyon, they'll hunt down. We just saw RRQ find one earlier. Either way, Lyon's not doing too well. Yakos can't see the shots from the back. Man does not have the bars at this point of time. They're going to be regretting bringing that Skylar in. But it is what it is. SHUL on the other hand, bumping into yet another Brazilian squad out there. Yago, a sliver of health, and nameless AGAL from afar, cutting down the distance, slowly catching up with them. And perhaps this third party can allow SHUL to pull in a couple of revives.
Let's see if Buddy can make that rescue mission happen. MT7 could get pushed right now by Twisted Minds. Pop wants to provide long-range support, but he's getting pinned down as well. Twisted Mind with the pieces in place, getting knocked down from afar. Is Bob delivering on the platter? Twisted Mind stopped in their tracks.
Yeah, you sit on my shoulder, buddy. I'll pick you right up. Diamond brought right back in here by the Bass, and Bob's caught out. Diamond, beautiful play off the top of the 10. M24 in hand, but Exposé looking for the vending machine, and Butchizin will be able to take him away. The guard of the vending machine failed on his mission, and Twisted Minds don't get to take the squad out of the equation just yet.
A big clutch there from Butchizin. But earlier on, when we saw BRU get wiped out, it freed up command post, so Team Apex Gaming now have full control of the southern side of the map. Lyon not in a good spot as EVOS catches up to RRQ again. The rematch. The young gun of RRQ is the one that gets the drop, but EVOS prevails, and they lock in their 5th point. Now around the corner is going to be a troll that is isolated. Ray finds that finisher.
Yeah, you got roll the one and only EVOS. 6 eliminations in hand already. Unfortunate for SHUL, they were all spread out on the battlefield. MIBR.LOS on the other hand, bumping into Falcons yet again. This one just does not end. Empty sexy down on the ground. Round 7 on a high ground here, has got the Winchester in hand. Pina in shooting distance, in the crosshairs of Raone, but he does not get the job done. He has to be pushed off here. As on fire catches up with him, and from up top, the SVD straight to the head. Raone was looking for the vending machine, but prevented. And Yago's gonna turn tails here, trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. But the hit list has been bought. And MIBR with their final player, although they have the stealth bites, they're not gonna be able to get away from this Falcons. They know exactly where he is, and this is gonna be the end for MIBR here in this lobby.
Yeah, the Red Tide Rhythm just to confirm the elimination. Yago can hide all he wants. There's no escaping the talents of the Falcons. MIBR.LOS removed in 9th place, and that puts Loud and Twisted Minds in a comfortable spot. Both teams who have had a booyah so far now leading the pack just because BRU is not in it.
On the next update, we're gonna see Morris' capability of even avoiding the hit list. That was unfortunate, man. He tried to stay hidden, but got exposed in a totally different way. Brilliant play, brilliant strategy out of Falcons. And now, Twisted Minds versus Fluxo. Bob's MP7 as the rest of Twisted Minds use the zip line to cross the battlefield. Diamond has got MP7 in his crosshairs. MP7 on the other hand, focusing on the airdrop. They want to make sure they've got the weapons of choice to take on Twisted Minds as well as the utilities. But the Bass with the advantage, M590. Oh, needs another one. Almost messed that up. But MT7, the sniper, just could not take a decent CQC.
Yep, Twisted Minds with a daylight robbery and an extra point under their pocket. Fluxo forced to run away. Potshots headed towards Boss. Butchison needs to hold the forest to find an isolated Joker. But they need to secure some space at the sub for MT7 to come back into the lobby. Fluxo surprisingly very, very spread out as a team on the southern side of the map.
If you look at this map, usually we've seen dominance out of the Thai squad so far. Falcons, Buriram, AGAL. All of them have 1 booyah each on this Kalahari map. With Buriram out of the equation already, perhaps Falcons and AGAL will be the biggest threats later. So on the other hand, they've got a booyah for themselves on this Kalahari map as well in their run here at EWC 26. But as far as those points are concerned, they didn't really rake in a lot of eliminations. In fact, Fluxo hasn't really looked very strong on the battlefield so far as the eliminations.
Yeah, not at all. I definitely expected a bit more, but I'm looking for them to ramp up maybe game 3 and 4 onwards, right? This is the team that needs some time to warm up their engines. But one of the theme of this game is the fact that 2 of the biggest strongholds are Refinery and Command Post because of RRQ and BRU. Both of them are not in the lobby, which means that there's a lot of real estate freed up for everyone else. The game should slow down temporarily until maybe the 11th minute mark. And until then, we're going to see stragglers being picked off left and right and then brought back by the vending machine. That means it's going to be some free points for the teams who managed to find these eliminations.
But he tried his best there to get to the vending machine, but unfortunately the Valiant Dash used against him. Not really to disable any of his defenses, but just to cut the distance down and expose. He's finding Jack as well, and now SHUL left with 1 final survivor. Can India find a way to get back into this matchup through this squad?
I
Team Apex Gaming, on the other hand, started off really hot up against Buriram, but they've been silent so far. AGAL finding the Brazilians. Loud, and a grenade M79 up into the top floor. Trap will be pushed down by the M590, and that starts off a big one, and that's a massive advantage because that's the player that had the M79 on the side of the Brazilian squad. Cypher traded out, deal with the shot from afar with the M82B, and they dismantle Loud with that play.
Perfect execution from AGAL. I think there was a bit of a miscom there from Loud, who tried to run down the stairs, and Trap absolutely caught out. Not really sure what the plan was, but Cypher with the great execution on the Valiant Dash sealed the deal there.
I think the play there was supposed to be the M79 be sent down to that lower ground, and then of course those grenades to take out the players from the front lines. But unfortunately, before he could get into position, he just got shot out of this spot with the M590. Beautiful play out of Cypher there in that moment. But now Twisted Minds up against EVOS. Both these teams know each other very well from the Southeast Asian region, and it is EVOS right now leading with the eliminations as well as the utilities. Twisted Minds not too far behind them. When you look at the long reposition, that's probably, I think, Exposi trying to get into spot to see if he can flank around. AGAL watching this battle from afar as well. If Dew finds aim god, this is going to be deadly.
Yeah, we can say the same for if Russia gets a clear shot. Diamond's already tagged out. You have Fluxo on the high ground too, so Twisted Minds not really comfortable staying out in the open at Foundation. They need to find some cover here, but with EVOS pushing in, they gotta pick and poison.
Yeah, you gotta pick the poison, man, either way. I think there's a fair chance you do not find the antidote for either one of them. More stealth points used by Russia. He gets a easy flank around the left-hand side to find the circle first before the rest of his brothers, and the rest of the frontliners on the side of EVOS will be holding Twisted Minds back. And Russia, right after he gets into spot, he gets shot in the back by the player from the side of Fluxo, most probably MT7. EVOS calls for the Bolt Maker. Lightning zone now. Twisted Minds cannot step out into the open. Aim God with one misplay that does not manage to get the first knockdown in the Valiant Dash, almost saving him, but it was the A1 thrill of battle that gave them the bravery to step into the battle. But Twisted Minds turning the situation around for themselves.
Yeah, and Russia needs to build his team out right now. Going above and beyond and putting EVOS on his back.
One more.
Exposing the vast remainders of Twisted
Minds.
With the delivery system, can he complete the cycle here as the Bas desperately bringing his teammates back with the revive? But Russia has done more than enough. It's his turn to maybe get his teammates back into the game. The Bas over the glue wall. The Bas comes out on top.
The Bas, beautiful. Gets the insurance policy first on that revive, bringing Diamond back into play, and then going for the shutdown. But their chances of surviving this lobby and getting a booyah is absolutely slim. The Bas is going to probably get taken out of the equation here outside the circle, tanking a lot of damage. Apex, on the other hand, right beside SHUL. We've had a full squad recovery, looking for the next zone. Can he stay a ninja? Nah, they've spotted him already, and Apex is going to get tagged up. Probably this is the end for EVOS here.
Yeah, it's either them or it's either SAUL, AGAL that takes that away. Just 3 points sitting out in the open. If you are the Indian team, you definitely would want that point as you are sitting at the bottom. As we lose Twisted Minds off screen too, Apex is just trying to... I mean, he did gain an extra placement point for himself before Dew finally collects that. So we are going to go down to just 6 more teams.
AGAL as well as Fluxo, the only two other teams that have managed to secure a booyah on Kalahari from this EWC stage. Can they take it all the way? Lyon has been fairly quiet after a few mishaps at the very start. Haven't secured a single elimination for themselves. Fluxo, on the other hand, tanking a lot of damage outside the circle. Spots out SHUL on the rotation. Jack's getting tagged up by Baros. AGAL like shooting fish in a barrel. And Fluxo wants to steal that away. MT7 knocks down Troll. He makes sure he gets the confirmation as well. AGAL getting those shots in, making sure they scare the players on the side of Fluxo back. And they're trying to keep Buddy Vincent in.
Yeah, this is a good game for Fluxo and AGAL to pull ahead of the curve because some of the Apex players are already out.
One more!
Sniper, can he get the snipe in? It's Dew again, of course. Never doubt this guy. Bunny is also pinned down behind that blue wall. It's only a matter of time before AJL finds him. Lyon now will join that fight, and maybe that's a distraction that will bail Fluxo out of the situation as they fight against TAG.
Yeah, brilliant recovery by Fluxo here. Instantly jumping out of the box in front, getting the pick up with the blue walls. And they take money out of the equation as well. Unfortunately, the circle actually playing that point off of them. As SHUL Esports makes the exit from the lobby, we now have the top 3. And 2 out of the 3 teams are definitely geared up for the booyah here. Falcons, just the one team that strayed on in. Can they make it out of here? I totally forgot that they were still alive and kicking. All 3 of these teams have already performed at Kalahari, and they're looking to pull off their second booyah. Which one will be able to secure that for themselves? Cypher bringing the whole squad of AGL together with him, backing him up as he cuts the distance down within their squad, as well as Fluxo. But they realize right under the bridge, Fluxo will be dangerous, and they take a quick U-turn, but they'll have to deal with Falcons here. And they're going to hope and pray that it is Fluxo that finds Falcons first. Jump pad getting them in, but that's a bad move. First one gets snuffed out of the air. Pina with a double. On fire finds Nameless. And AGAL losing 2 too early.
This is good for Fluxo. Carollo made his rotation too late and went down to the blue. Pina did take down Dew, but now Fluxo completely freed out and might get an advantageous fight against Falcons. Pina needs some help, but the blue zone is pushing them straight into the heat of Fluxo, who are coming at them with full force. You expose and limit with the first one to even the odds out. Fluxo a forward, pushes in with the dash in. Pina covering himself and pushes in. Now needs assistance. Gets knocked down, finds the trade again. It's Limit trying to hold Falcons together, but he falls in the hands of MC7. Pina brought back up, pops in front of him, on fire, providing help. Falcons side by side. As Fluxo looks to turn the corner, the pre-fire comes through. Pina rushes in. MC7 holds his own. MC7 delivers on fire with the trade. Can Bob seal in the captain of Fluxo? Do it! On fire! It's on fire! And Falcons get their booyah!
Get second booyah at Kalahari. The 5th time they make their run here on this map, and they're truly dominant. But a well-played game for all 3 teams that squeeze themselves towards that final circle. A brilliant play by Falcons. They got locked down by the thrill of battle off of that A124 initially, but it was Pina and his M590 perfection. Well-timed blue wall, circled around it. Could not use his active skill, but it didn't matter. He went in for the pop, an instant pickup to maintain the numbers advantage, and the distraction with the extra player on the side of Falcons, more than enough to allow on fire
ইস্যুতে সেরা কিচেন ডিলস পান এখনই ডাউনলোড করুন।
Take a while for them to get used to it, and it better come fast.
Yeah, looking at what Fluxo did here, they're definitely going in for the hunt onto Team Apex Gaming. They managed to take down squad, but that's not going to give them an extra advantage because the revival was already completed. The squad is on the way back in. So very intentional play, executed to perfection there by the Brazilian Giants. Fluxo getting 4 points off of TAG at the very get-go. Buriram, on the other hand, just 1 point claim so far. They send the UAV out. Can they find more?
Well, TAG got lucky for just a little bit because they actually went to peak, and that's why Buriram usually spends a bit more time hanging around. But because Buriram moved to Bimasakti Strip, TAG actually gets a second chance in this lobby.
Oh yeah.
Not so lucky, not so sure about LOS though, because they're about to run into BRU. Lyon beelining towards where the boss is, and there could be some info the Twisted Minds can use, but I don't think they want to fight right now. They want to get those revives.
Lyon versus one player from the side of Twisted Minds. Bass is going to get caught in a tight little spot here. Joker with the M24, flanking around the right-hand side. Della pushing on forth. Spots out Bass. Joker gets the first shot in. Bass pulls up a good glue wall. He's going to be able to block the shots from Della. Grenade's not going to find him just yet. Bass has got the Drogon in hand, but Joker will RGS him out of the equation. And throw from up top. SHUL trying to interfere in the situation, but the time turner is going to allow the Lions to pick their buddy up and find that recovery as well. An extra glue wall inside the time turner just in case they break it down. But just no aggression from the side of SHUL just yet with those shots. Limit is going to get tagged up here as well. And it is a battle that I did not expect to see the Thai Giants join. And this is now turning into a three-way fight. And SHUL might be able to get away as Lions now start shooting down the Falcons.
SHUL is the team that has info on both Falcons and Lyon, and that's why they instantly backed off and leave Lyon to be the Falcon problem instead of themselves. Limit just got picked back up, so Falcons didn't really have much time to pick themselves into shape. But there's still a trade between Lyon and Falcons. Guerrero finding game shaking. That is the back broken on the Lion side. They no longer have the anchor, and Lyon will be forced to split up.
Brilliant play, brilliant counter by Falcons. Although they were in a tight little spot there, using the jump pad to see if they can pull away some numbers from that equation, intentionally or unintentionally help the Indian squad of SHUL survive. And the Lions didn't go in for the pressure since Falcons got a couple of numbers off of them as well. Now the Bears still under pressure. This time it's EVOS that finds him. And that's about it. What a turnaround. M1917 gets the knock. Can he get the confirmation? Oh, he gets the double! Can he get a triple? Locked down by the thrill of battle. The flank comes through from the back. Good glue wall. And he gets the elimination. The best, you monster.
Absolutely insane play there. Hunted down by the entirety of EVOS and comes out with a 2-0 head-to-head so far. And the entire game, he has been alone. He has been isolated. And finally, Ray takes him out. But it did come at a cost for EVOS. They are forced to soft reset.
Good anticipation for Ray there off of the BSK. Silejet in the vehicle. Disadvantage up against Strap, who has the Woodpecker. Katie got, and now they're all spread out on the battlefield. Twisted Minds right above on the revive. Don't tell me he's going to drop right in here. That might be the distraction that Team Apex Gaming is going to need. SHUL, on the other hand, up against Falcons. In this compound, Falcons have got the high ground advantage. Limit, Riptide Rhythm sent out already, so he's on cooldown for the active skill. Jack's going to be spotted out from afar. Pina quickly repositions towards the lower ground. They pulled out the painted refuge off of the Steffi earlier on, but no nades were sent from the side of Falcons. That could be the active wasted. It's a 2v2. Time turner used a little prematurely.
Nice.
Pina gets caught out though. That's a big play, and Buddy with the Drogon goes in for the doozy. And the follow-up will put Falcons out of the equation. SHUL Esports still alive.
Perfect stuff from Tro with the Car 98 and the cluster to set it up as well, completely scattering the front line of Falcons right into the crosshair of Tro. And TAG on the other hand, you wanted the Indian team to step up, AJ. I think they're granting your wish as they were chasing down isolated members as well, and this could put them in a good spot and give them more games in this finals. With Falcons removed, now it is Twisted Minds and Fluxo's chance to get ahead.
Bharat Mata ki Jai. That's the way, baby. But of course, it's not enough. They're still towards the bottom of the leaderboard. If they can climb up consistently, maybe get into the final circle, they stand a good chance. Man, the Bears is just having an unlucky run here in this Bermuda lobby. Tagged up again. Can he pull off a superstar play? This time it's Katie God with the M1970, the double revolvers up against the Bass, who does have the SMG in hand. The Bison, deadly. Katie God needs a sharp shot here. The Bass quickly finding the recovery off of the Superman and the backup from afar. Unfortunate. Exposi brought right back in here. Twisted Minds continuously on the revives now. Shoto needs to turn tails and get the heck out of there, because you've got two players on the side of Twisted Minds with a high ground advantage, and Diamond has the VSK. That's it. He tries to get away. Diamond, are you going to miss all of those shots? Shoto, some luck is keeping him alive, but finally taken down. Took too long for Diamond, but finally sorted that out.
Longer than they needed. Exposi, he is running all the way from peak to join his teammates. Vovin is still up, but the vending machine is so far away at Mill. I think that's where he's heading. We saw that Dinoculus being used earlier on, but it also could be from AJL to make sure that there's no team coming in from the eastern side. SAUL have been duking it off with BRU for quite some time. Let's see if Bunny can come out on top. The blue wall all go down at the same time. It's Bunny against the captain and Jonah Besson.
Man, I mean, Jonah's a monster always, but in that situation, he was definitely outnumbered. The rest of the players from the side of Buriram is having the crosshairs on him from afar. Moshi spotting out Jack as well, but Jack, with the Valiant Dash, will be able to put a little bit of a distance between himself as well as the super sniper of Buriram. But the rest of the SHUL players are not out of the woods just yet. Spotted out by Buriram, Jonah, as well as Get High XL out in the open. Troll has got the Car 98 and the BSK.
Oh no.
The quick scopes will get him absolutely nothing. Perfect defense off of Buriram. On the opposite end, we've got Loud bumping into EVOS.
And he doesn't see Jonah with a stealth
Lyon,
so that could be dangerous. EVOS here. Is it another three-way fight? If it is,
could even be a four-way, Husky.
RRQ joins it. You call it.
There you go.
With the snipe onto BZP, Apex is going to try and capitalize on this, but he's going to be pinned down in this warehouse as well. If Lyon pushes this, it is going to be bad news for EVOS.
Yeah, good recovery for Loud here. Just quickly going on to the troll, making sure RRQ does not get those easy shots. And assisted by EVOS from down the bottom as well to lay out all of those glue wall melters. They call out the Painted Refuge from Steffi, protecting them from any nades that will be tossed up onto the roof. So that's a brilliant defense here by Loud. That ice grenade's not going to do anything to them. Dragon Freeze will not scratch them at all. But the Painted Refuge used up already. They all get tagged up by the Moko. EVOS knows exactly where they are. All thanks to the lightning zone as well. And Loud has got nowhere to go.
They're actually trapped on this roof. But the good news is that it is right in the center of the circle, so they still have some time to plan their escape route if needed, or at least just hold here and wait for the other team to take themselves out.
One more.
Avax under pressure, trap, clear vision of him. BRU crippled, unfortunately, as they actually lost the fight against SAUL off screen. So Moshi will have to backtrack from where he came from.
The two Indian teams are still alive, so I'm a happy man. Buriram, on the other hand, rough round here. Moshi. Good to see the end here, Nameless. I don't know if you know.
Cypher should check this.
Blanken Brown, Cypher, spots him. Moshi is not going to survive this one. Buriram taken out. Their banner burned out of the skies. Fantastic start. Just no great follow-up from your three-time world champs.
0 placement points again, AJ. Another early exit. Twisted Mind challenging TAG and Exposi. I mean, so far the pass has been hot, and he's continued to be on. Rushes into the field. They lose two, but same as TAG, can move it, pull this back. They've already lost their star Shoto. So it all comes down to Wubin. It's a huge happen. They're trying to go into the other side of the building, out the window. Wubin needs some distance to reconvene with his teammates.
Oh man, the guy had no glue walls. He almost got shot in the back. But thanks to his lucky stars, I'm very sure they're aligned for the team perfectly right now.
Looks so.
But luck is about to run out for THG.
হ্যাঁ নিলে হবে বল বাবু এইভাবে যে তুই যে
The
কাঁদছিস
resources
সারাদিন
needed to survive this final circle, and they don't have the number of players on their side as well. Will luck be on their side? A riptide rhythm from another squad, giving the opener here. SAQL losing lives one after the other as well on the opposite end. And the four-way fight still has Loud alive and kicking up on top.
They are holding on so well. So much medkits and glue wall to work with. They're weathered the storm for now. So RQ is going to be their next problem, but at least they have the warehouse to drop into if needed.
Wow.
Fluxstone did
আর তুই
build
কোথাও বেড়াইতে নিয়ে যাবো না রে এই লাস্ট তুই ভুলে যা আর বেড়াইতে যাওয়ার কথা ঠিক আছে ঠাকুরের বাড়ি থেকে একদিন বেরিয়ে এসে খেলা করা এ করা সব বন্ধ শুধু কানন শুধু বেড়াইতে যাবো
Placement points
আর তো
wise,
বেড়াইতে
they
যাওয়া হবে
don't
না
really get anything much off of this lobby at all. Team Apex Gaming with two final survivors, a double caught on the outside. Twisted Minds hopping on in, and they find a quick recovery before perhaps taking the fight up against Team Apex Gaming. They just need to knock up that door slightly and they'll be able to get 2 free points, unless of course Wolvin and Sileljudge show us some miracle, because they have no glue walls to play around with. They'll just have to take a straightforward gunfight.
The Lion just wiped out 3 out of 4 Fluxstone members too as they were going on the cross. The high ground advantage was too good for Lion to pass out, and now Tahija is going to get absolutely ran through by the bars. It just spelled the end of THG out into the blue. Wolvin actually finds that revive when the KD got to extend their lifeline, and he's on the MT7. Wolvin though loses the fight, but MT7 did eventually perish to the blue.
Yeah, Wolvin did manage to collect that elimination off of him. Brilliant play, but of course Team Apex Gaming, that's going to be their consolation prize. They survived definitely much longer, but elimination points wise, that's exactly where we see the big improvement coming through from the squad. But they need way more than that to climb a leaderboard in a massive lobby like this. Not their fault at all. On the survival stage, you didn't have these big boys. You didn't have these monsters prowling around. It's a tough lobby to say the least. Lions now rotating away from Twisted Minds. Flukes over as RRQ, the big fight. Dude still alive and kicking, but lost. Doing a number on them. Spotting out Rams. Circling around the glue wall. Wall get clapped by the thrill of battle. And the A124 does RRQ in. The sniper of RRQ can't do much in this situation. Tries to run away. Prevented by Rigby. Easy points for MIBR, and that's the 4 that they pick up in this lobby.
Good stuff. MIBR.LOS needed an intervention. They needed a way back into this finals, and I think they found that opening. Now it's about converting that into more. Lau still holding on strong. The next circle. Let's see if it decides whether Lau gets to stay. Nope, out into the open we go. AJL, they are primary position to vulture all of these points from the far. And if AJL gets this booyah, they are going to be so close to 90 points.
How long has Loud stayed on this roof? They have played their defense perfectly. Nobody has been able to punish them. Nobody has been able to kick them off. Now the blue zone will finally do the job, removing the Brazilian squad off of that roof. But the question is, how will they make their move in towards the next circle? Now Lightning Zone has been called out. It is not AGAL's bold maker. Potentially from MIBR, as they are looking to make their way a long journey towards the next zone. Blue wall melters laid out here by AGAL. General's going to be in a lot of trouble, but the shots, the cover from Yago allows him to make the quick rotation round, and MIBR still safe.
The only way to really make this competitive is for LOS to get that booyah somehow. Allow wiping out Twisted Minds members. BZP hanging on by a thread. Now top back up. That's the quad and the 5th for BZP. Nix comes in as well. But Lion shows up and Della leads the charge. Games King also winning out his one against Guaksha. Lion not to be denied.
Yeah, Lion steps on in right after that double nade from the side of Twisted Minds. Beautiful play. And of course, it is Lions that get the biggest slice of this pie through those points. Diamond still clapped by the thrill of battle. He can't use his active skills just yet. Goes in for the Superman right outside the zone. Tanking a lot of damage. Traps down on the ground. BZP needs to go in here for the pickup, and Games King can't find the final player. Diamond going in for the shutdown.
Oh my goodness.
A sliver of health left here for BZP. And Diamond gets the final player. And it is an all-out Thailand final circle that's clapped by AJL for the booyah.
And they have now officially hit that critical mass. They are so close to 90 points. This Booyah, I believe, paired with 11 eliminations, puts them one good game away from the 90-point threshold. How sweet would that be? They came up a couple finals Clash Squad victory, but it was something that people brushed aside because it's not Battle Royale, it's not the Holy Grail. But now
Falcons and take that beast away.
It's gonna be really fun how it's gonna go. Lyon, you know, I would have surprised. I thought they would have changed up the way they play coming into this particular game. But for them, they're saying, no, let's just play our game. Let's continue our momentum and how we move. In this situation here, we just talked about Lyon. Squawka's already getting knocked out. Now for Twisted Minds, an idea on exactly how it's going to go. Look at this map here, this area toward the sub. They can become the gatekeepers. They want to know. Twisted Minds knows exactly where MT7 is. Takes a lot of damage already. Will tie by a bit more time. The long-range weapons that MT7 has is lethal in his hands. Exposy is getting shot back in return. And both these teams temporarily on a stalemate. Exposy, the glue wall falls, takes quite a bit of damage, forced to reposition, but able to put another one down. The electrotherapy will give a bit of space. Not for long. Teammate knocked down. The bat is here as well. MT7 going to be completely overwhelmed here. Tries his best to at least steal away a pickoff. Not going to be able to do so. But still, Geo decides to join in on this fight.
There's more from Fluxo. There are chances that Fluxo can take a hit, but it seems like there's been a call made to retreat, to not continue this fight, because if they keep giving eliminations to Twisted Minds, that is them going to be activating match point. And Twisted Minds, their chase doesn't work in their favor. They almost were about to lose 2 players. They did lose 1, but instantly knowing that Fluxo is close by, they decide not to continue that fight with this disadvantage.
Gotta take this slow, you gotta be very, very safe. But at the very least here, Ryu and the rest of Fluxo, they can be the ones to keep Twisted Minds out of the zone. But if you take too long, the Lions are going to go on a hunt. And Lyon is now here. Their strategy of going completely aggressive, taking fights left, right, and center has been going very, very well for them.
Twist Minds, only 1 elimination, meaning they will jump to 88. They need more players to be at least eliminated. 10 in the lobby. If a team gets eliminated, they bring it down to around 8, they'll start getting placement points and they might make those 3 points. But this is how pressure works, especially in the finals. You know, with match point under threat, if you don't activate it, somebody else activates it, and then the booyah to follow is the game being closed for Free Fire. And that is why Twisted Minds are also along the same line of how we are seeing ATL, trying to play safe and secure some of those eliminations, those points.
Position coming in from Lyon, instead of just going in for this fight, decides to prioritize positioning, and it's good. They got a compound, and most importantly, a bit more advantage to the players of Twisted Minds and even Fluxo. We see Buriram United still out there in the open. We thought the last map would be a change in pace for these particular teams. It's very, very quiet, but we haven't seen more from them on this map either.
The Twisted Minds, they're also unable to see a lot. It seems like they're just back and forth in the play zone. They're playing outside the edges itself. Anytime they try to get closer, Fluxo once shut them down, and the other time they had a clash, somehow surviving. Good use of the electrotherapy is all I can say at this point, because they're trying to survive that play zone and nothing else, because they want to make it to the end. They're trying to bank on those placement points we were talking about. RRQ on the other end at the 9th spot, 46 points. We just broke a record. 45 total points. Why not them trying their hand at it? Because we know RRQ have that potential.
They do.
It's just that they miss out when it's time to close. So RRQ can always stage their very own comeback.
In this situation as well, AGAL, like you mentioned, fairly quiet, but this era to our refinery could be good for them. Going in from these long-range picks, being able to catch people, any team in the midst of rotation.
I'm surprised to see refinery so empty. AGAL,
right?
They're having a ball of a time there. And if that continues, they can see command posts right down. And that is where the circle is.
But the fights are still going on here with the Made in Brazil loss, getting that first pick off here. But General will be the one that's made it out there. But you can't count Yago out, putting in that damage. But the Falcons, we're so ready for Rigby's jump shot. Triple elimination for him. Aggressive as heck, and another step forward to their own match point with MIBR.LOS. Able to bring 1 player in the game. You need more if you want to bring the whole team. Not enough coins to be able to do so.
Problems for every team who want to get closer to match point. Loud have only 4 eliminations. Falcons want to make their way, but they need around 27 in total. They have earned 10 of those eliminations. AGL finally making a rotation out of the refinery. We spoke about it. Circle is not there. But the position that they hold, they have a clear front to move around. And that's how they decide to rotate as well. Rather than going directly into the circle, they're moving around it so that they have information. And especially the vertical terrain advantage is what they still want to keep.
AGL just now, they were trying to get advantages earlier, but now the advantage comes close since they do have this huge terrain. Those Lion Games King will be knocked down. But Della is here to completely obliterate. Shots from above, catching the mid-rotation. Nameless, you gotta do something, you gotta survive. But Della shuts him down. A quadra kill from this player to further their way into the game. And a heartbreak for AGAL.
That was an M249 used like a Gatling gun and gutting AGL out. And Lyon, Della destroying the team who had match point. And now it's only Lyon in Kalahari. They spotted the next opponent. That's going to be Fluxo. But they don't have to run into it because Fluxo are already in another fight. That's going to be Buriram. These teams are fighting amongst themselves while Lyon are cleaning shop and paving path.
It's gonna be dangerous right now. Fluxo, crowd loud for them. A lot of energy, a lot of cheers. And Buriram United looking to silence them. A quick reposition coming in from Budzin. Good enough to keep the rest of Buriram United at bay. Coming through from Lyon, pressures the rest of SAUL, and they're picking up the HP of the players, and they're not able to do a lot as the members of SAUL drop 1 by 1.
M249 not stopping from Della. Has 4 eliminations, finally trolled. Puts a stall and then a knock on Della was crucial to put Lyon down and SAUL are charging towards them. This is going to be an opening, but Joker tries to slow them down, confirms on Jack as well, bringing it down to a 3v3. Bunny with the ACAT has done the damage. Boltmaker also surrounding Lyon. Very cautious on the approach. Nade being cooked, tossed, but will not hit the mark. SAUL are right behind the containers, but not in position for Lyon to instantly fight.
Yeah, and now Lyon running out of space. The same could be said about SAUL. Maybe a temporary respite between teams. Regardless, gonna try and chunk forward here as well, but kept at bay. Damage is too much, and throughout all of that, so Falcons RQ gonna juke it out. Falcons taking a lot of heavy damage, and RQ completely collapsed. The Falcons cannot move.
RQ, they managed to put Falcons down, but the fight is not yet done. MIBR.LOS who managed to recover General and Yago, but RQ as the zone's closing, they want to be ahead of it. They want to make a move, and they are. They also need the points. They're at the 8th spot. We spoke about it. 40-point difference. Now it's tough. Players getting knocked. Mahal will be brought back to life, and General instantly put to rest by Abhay. And RRQ get their 5th. But Lyon, they are the ones that the whole lobby should be worried about. 7 teams still surviving. SAUL at the front of it. And Della makes it inside the circle. Joker using the stealth bikes, and look at Yako. He's in the other front. Reply to them. Use. This could be an opening to stall SAUL as well.
Could be really good. RQ is now out, but for the Lions, they're catching SAUL mid-rotation. SAUL eliminated, and they quickly go toward the next mark. They have Fluxo close by. They also have Cloud as well, but they're taking this bit by bit. Twisted Minds shut up inside of the compound, but Joker is just on a rampage.
Records were just broken, and now records are being made. History being created. Lyon have the best advantage. Loud in front of them, Grab helping them out. Big one, M79, 2 of the players from Twisted Mind are down. Nicks up close and personal, and Loud have put Twisted Minds down. Lyon, a 3v4.
This is insane because Wakos is just finding the angle to walk in the bunker. Not able to let those shots. Taking his time, but the Knights have a nice crossfire, and Loud completely surrounded. Cannot really move. These two teams, Loud especially wants to stop Lyon from being able to end this tournament. Trap stuck in the corner. Lyon playing at a disadvantage with 1 player less. Joker taking his time.
Trap is is the one who made it possible. Now Trap has to be the one to put Lyon down as well. But Lyon, Joker, the man who became the MVP, he has to hold this off. Nice throw, no player being revived. Nick's making a shot. Can he do the damage? Two of the players from Loud have gotten closer, doing the damage. Run being done from Della. He right now is not pulling the M249 up because he knows the number disadvantage in Nix. He finds the opening. Loud are stopping this from happening, and Nix and Mason Bay, they stop Lyon, stop them, and bring it back to Brazil.
They are not allowing this tournament to end. You are not with that trophy. Must be frustrating, must be a heartbreak. You're so close, you're already there. The booyah right at the tips of your fingers.
That could have been history in Esports World Cup 2026 in Paris. There have been a lot of firsts that happen on this stage. And Lyon, just by a sliver, missed this chance. But look at Loud, their execution. Trap, he started it all with the M79, using the launchers, denying everybody from getting closer. Twisted Minds getting shattered within the compound. And then Nix and BZB together for the final hit and make sure that the game trophy is still standing there and no keys are yet crushed.
I have to say, losing that one player advantage was just too much to deal with.
Look at Loud. That's a Loud reaction. The way they managed to hold this off. Trap. Yes, you have done magic. You've done the almighty as of now. That's what you pulled off over there. Otherwise, Lyon, they were about to be the beasts of EWC 26 Paris Free Fire. Unbelievable, a back-to-back booyah to just close it off, close the stage. But Loud say that no, not yet. We are here. Southeast Asia has taken it away from us many times, but this time no, Brazil wants it, keeping the lifeline open. And Loud will strike this hammer for the game number 7, our match 7, which is going to happen next. But what a game this was.
They're so proficient in getting those eliminations as well. Didn't change their momentum or style of play. Didn't even slow down. AJL a bit more quiet this time, prioritizing survivability. However, that target on their backs meant that they were getting hunted left, right, and center. And I would say that if this team decides to play like Lyon, play their own game, they would have had a way deeper run. Regardless, now that the map is still going on, let's have a look at what Lyon has to say about that map earlier.
Hello everyone, Carol Bombshell here back on stage. Oh my gosh, things here are getting really serious. The heat is up right now, I'm even shaking. And this interview must be really important right now because we gotta talk with Lions, especially with the Joker. That was the player that got the most kills, the most eliminations for Lions, where they activated the match point. Okay, so you guys got the biggest booyah of EWC history, and you just broke EWC point record, kill, and record everything. How did you feel after that incredible game?
Acaban de conseguir uno de los boyas más importantes en este torneo, han roto todos los récords. ¿Cómo te sentiste en ese momento? ¿Cómo te sientes ahora?
Nada, la verdad que bastante emocionado. Al fin y al cabo yo creo que no hay mucha sensación porque seguimos todavía compitiendo, todavía no ha acabado nada. Yo creo que hasta el momento no estamos dimensionando lo que estamos haciendo, simplemente estamos queriendo salir campeones y estamos jugando para eso.
We're really excited, but we are not really feeling right now because we're still competing. So there's nothing to feel yet. We are just focused on getting the win and being champions.
Probably that's a good mindset for right now. You are now making history for Latam at this event at EWC, the World Champions. And you are past the point and become champions. How does it feel to be so close to make history here?
Estás haciendo historia para Latinoamérica, estás en el punto en el cual ya pueden ser campeones. ¿Cómo se siente estar en estos momentos a un paso de ser campeón?
Nada, la verdad que no hay como un sentimiento claro, sinceramente. Lo único que estamos pensando es en cerrar la partida, lograr el bulla y terminar el campeonato y lograr ser campeones. Básicamente estamos jugando para eso.
We don't really have a clear feeling. We're only thinking about getting that big last booyah, being the champions, and that's all we're thinking about right now.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty much sure that's the goal right now. I don't want to take much time with you because you got to concentrate for the next match. But I got to ask, this last game, this end game against Loud,
Hablando sobre la última partida, estuvieron muy cerca de convertirse en campeones. ¿Puedes contar qué estaba pasando por sus cabezas en ese momento? ¿Cómo se sintió?
La verdad que en el momento simplemente era un 3 versus 4, pensamos que había otro equipo que eran de diferente, entonces hubo como ahí como que chocamos en la comunicación, pero nada, de hecho en el momento no simplemente era como de tratar de ganar, entonces no había como algo tan específico, simplemente estamos jugando para ganar y ya está.
We were 3 against 4, and we thought it was a different team, so we had a little bit of miscommunications in our comms, and we just didn't play it right, or what happened ever.
Perfect. All right, so for us to finish our interview, I just would like to make one last question. What do you have to say for those who doubt about the Latin teams, who said that the Latin teams was way below here in Free Fire?
¿Qué le quiere decir a las personas que decían que los equipos de la TAM estaban muy acá en Free Fire?
Nada, yo creo que en general por los resultados es muy fácil hablar, ya que al fin y al cabo no están compitiendo en ese sentido, o sea, desde afuera creo que es muy fácil opinar y decir todo ese tipo de cosas, pero nada, estando dentro, yo creo que pasaban muchas cosas, capaz como en los equipos, capaz internamente, no sé, la verdad no sabría qué opinar ante eso, pero lo que sí sé es que en la TAM nunca hubo diferencia de nivel o estuvo bajo de nivel. De hecho, yo creo que en Latinoamérica todos sabemos que el nivel alto que teníamos y que podríamos llegar a ser campeones, pero simplemente las cosas no se daban y ahora tampoco se podría decir que se podría llegar a dar porque hasta el momento yo creo que es mejor terminar el campeonato y después salir a hablar.
I think it's really easy to talk when nothing happened. In Latin America, we always thought that we always had this level to be champions, to become the best in the world. We never thought about any level discrepancy between the regions. It is really easy to talk from the outside, but once you're inside, that's where it counts. So we are just focused on winning.
Amazing. I love your answer. Guys, you haven't heard enough from Joker. This is Latin America here at the EWC, making history. And we're going to continue right now. So back to the studio. And I'm back, and guess where am I right now? Of course, I am in the crowd, and I'm back in the super fan zone of RRQ Kazoo. Yeah! Indonesia, make some noise! Wow, I can see you guys are very proud to be here. We know Indonesia already got a title, but not for RRQ yet. So what that would mean RRQ win today?
It's gonna be our proudest thing maybe in this year because we're rooting for RRQ to win again in the FPS game. Yeah.
Amazing. So we all know that you guys have the Free Fire World Series in Southeast Asia, and you competed among most of the teams here. So which is the toughest team for RRQ to face today?
The toughest team is still EVOS, of course. Yeah, EVOS and Buriram.
Okay, I like the way. Okay, so all of you came from all the way from Indonesia. Have you prepared any special song?
Chance, you prepared? Yeah, we prepared.
Okay, we want to hear the special song. Come on.
Viva Radio! Viva Radio! Viva Radio! Viva Radio!
I love that. And first, to finish our interview, I learned something in your Something like FF Indo Bersatu?
Indo Bersatu, yeah. FF Indo Bersatu.
FF Indo Bersatu. Thank you. Back to the studio.
It's not only Southeast Asia, it's not any of the other regions, because right now LATAM is on top and they are breaking records, Lace.
Where do I even start?
That song, I feel you, girl.
If we come out of like match 3, right? So let me take you back on a story. Let me take you on a journey of the victory of the Lions on top of that Pride Rock. I mean, at the start, imagine they had 13 eliminations out the gate. Okay, this is what I'm saying. 13 eliminations, moving up to 18, then 20, and then of course we keep harping on about it, but breaking a record. And if you guys don't understand what that means, Falcons in 2024, it was 28 eliminations and a booyah. So for Lions to get 33 eliminations and a booyah, that's just not beating it. That is absolutely triumphing over that. So of course it's a very impressive thing from them. But then you would think in the next match they might slow things down. They're on match point. No. Okay? You do not want to be in the Lions side at the moment. You do not want this big Kit Kat staring you in the face, because it is going to be the end of you guys. I mean, there was a part where, obviously Joe Pretty's interview, he was so incredibly locked in, and within this final match, obviously he wasn't able to be there with his team in that final circle. So you could see the kind of a little devastation that he probably felt like he was letting his team down just so slightly. And even though that they made it through here, they just needed to play a little bit more patiently when it was Loud versus Twisted Minds. Obviously Twisted Minds got a little bit Loud, had the still 4 of their members up, but if they could have just pushed at this very moment, they would be lifting the trophy.
Yeah,
sorry guys, I'm sweating. Goddamn!
Yeah, I mean, it was real difficult, especially with one player missing for side of Lion. It was just really difficult to go and push and charge comparing to the earlier parts when they're full squad. But for Loud, Trap Bro, that M79 grenade launcher, they're boxed in. Twisted Minds boxed in, and they got him hard with that knockdown. 3 knockdowns instantaneously, and it doesn't stop there. Even against a Lion, he still used that same grenade launcher. So, yeah, for me, it's not just the team that won. M79 won.
Yeah, I mean, getting 2 booyahs in a final is a huge thing. At 16 elimination points, I mean, just take a look at that ranking finals. Yes, Lion is still on top with 124 points, but Loud is definitely following quite close behind.
Yeah, AGAL though, we gotta give them, we gotta talk about this squad, because there were some misconceptions there with that squad as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give it up for Lion. They were very smart. I mean, taking out AGAL quite early on the last game, that was the right move to do. They overtook Falcons' world record, and then they did that. That was just very smart. But AGAL, we talked about this before, they were very consistent. Keep getting those points. 11 elimination, and then game 6, they only have 1 placement points and 4 elimination. What happened? Lion roared. They were targeted, and they just weren't ready for that.
Yeah, I think it could be one of those things that happens when we see teams hit that match point. The style starts changing.
And that's one thing, especially for those who are familiar in Southeast Asia. Like, the moment they hit the match point, all you had to do is grab that booyah.
Yeah.
And
that's it, is it?
Yeah, I mean, that's
so easy. No, so simple.
But we've seen the difference in style. We've seen Lion there, despite of being in the same situation as AGL, both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, Lion was just aggressive. AGL was just passive. And the moment that AGL wants to be aggressive, they've been against Lion and they got taken out.
Yeah, I just want to play their exact same game. You can see Lion is playing exactly how they got to that moment, and AGAL, we saw that they prioritized getting position and zone first, and that's probably not similar to their game style, so that's where they got caught out. So play the same game, guys.
Yeah, but I mean, talking about Lion, one thing that we really need to appreciate is the fact that even though they lost Games King a couple of times, they can still manage to get out of a sticky situation. That means individually they are so ready for this final, and I'm so ready for them to just break another record for real, for real.
I think even with the engagement that we saw, we knew that they'd be coming behind us, and we were ready to take that fight. And as you were mentioning too, Neptune, the aggression out of this squad is what we wanted to see. Now, when we ended up looking at the overall earlier, there is 4 squads that are currently within that match point that could end up winning everything if they get a booyah in the next match. So let me just recap you on which one it is. It's Lyon, obviously, with the performance that they've been having, absolutely nuts. You got Loud Snickers that they were able to just get a booyah as well. AGL and Twisted Minds are those 4 teams that could end up winning it in match.
And you know, the interesting story is that on the last global finals, Games King had to miss his prom and had to miss his graduation, but they weren't doing so well. Okay, it was quite a sad story if you remember, Neptune. And now they are killing it. Games King is having the greatest time of his life. We can just saw it on his face, the calmness that he have. They are so relaxed, and they are still getting all those points, breaking records all in day 1.
That's something that I actually enjoyed to see out of the interview there with Lyon as well. The confidence was high, but the composure was there as well. The mental wasn't one of those that's saying, we're about to be champions. They're like, no, the job is not done yet. We still know that there's a lot to come, but it looks like that squad knows what's at stake. They know that they've been breaking records, but they want to lift that
in the hands of the players that from the side attack, as you saw. And EVOS having an advantage with the weapons that they were able to initially collect, probably because they hit the ground first. And two crucial points for them. Tag, on the other hand, with those revives, KD God will find Bobs as Team Apex Gaming tries to rotate out of the compound. Going to be bumping into Fluxo, but KD God, split up from the rest of his team members, could not take more than one life.
Three teams have a chance to reach the threshold if we don't end here. Fluxo, Buriram United, and to a degree, Falcons. Obviously, Falcons are the closest if they do make that run, which we have seen miracles before.
Yeah.
There are some good storylines. BRU now up against EVOS.
As expected, they are on the hunt. They are on the prowl. But will they be able to take the Predators, the White Tigers of Indonesia, out of the race here? They have called out for the lightning zone, which means it's going to be tough for EVOS to run away. If they get hit by one of those lightning bolts, you know they're going to get marked by that Moko as well. AimGod, Apex, trying to boost themselves away out of the compound, on the slide rails. Jonah, AC-80 in hand. And those glue walls just keeping the boys safe for the time being. And RRQ on the opposite side in a little bit of a pickle as EVOS out of the pen into the fire. The Lions catch hold of the Tigers.
And Falcons actually starting off well. There's two of them down already with the help of Games King. Unfortunate circumstances for EVOS, but great for Lyon. Good time to also point out this Falcons. This is his first year in competitive Free Fire. He joined the team back in February, and here he is now at the Cups of Glory with the three other veterans who were in the global finals last year. They finished 10th with Movie Star R7.
The kind of miracle that SHUL was expected to achieve here on the grand final stage being achieved by Yakots. Gotta appreciate it, man. I mean, Games King, we saw that he was willing to let go of his opportunity to graduate with the rest of his buddies, but he represented the nation on our global final stage. Couldn't really walk away with the best, but he has another opportunity here on the world stage. Falcons is bumping into small points on the way in towards that next zone. Loud, on the other hand, not having fun just yet as they were forced to play a little bit of a reset. SHUL, speaking of them, AGAL pumps into them and they clean up house. Troll's gonna get tagged up here. Boko sees him. Riptide Rhythm breaks down his defenses, and the follow-up from view off of the Car 98 makes the job too easy for AGAL, and one final survivor in the name of Jack, trying his best to get away.
And completely taking over Casa Vista. So Jack on the run, pushes in, finding AimGod on the wayside. So Lau's probably going to be slowing down for now, and BRU doing the complete opposite. Shoto tries to book it out of there, so the captain will hold the fort as he lets the ship keep on sailing.
On the survival stage, the opponents there were easy picking for SHUL as well as Total Team Apex Gaming. But in a lobby full of monsters, India is struggling. But I say valiant effort, man. Almost nobody expected them to get into the grand final, so it is a big win for these two teams, big win for the nation as a whole. I mean, India's making their way back onto global stage after many, many years. And such an achievement is definitely admirable. But how far can they go? Can they now start playing spoilers? Can they keep the competition alive long enough to activate match point for themselves? I mean, that would be a miracle if we ever saw one.
We have uncapped games, so there is always that possibility.
Oh yeah.
Which I do look forward to if we ever get to stretch this out. So far, it seems like the dominant teams are still alive and are still kicking it. Joker, another sharp one on the Mochi, who has not been finding much in this grand finals.
Lyon has now bumped into EVOS, bumped into Buriram, but of course not the full squad of Buriram. We're able to sneak away via Super Sniper. Now Cluster will not find on fire. Great blue wall, and he pops the painted refuge as well, keeping themselves safe from those grenades. But it's a three-way battle. Riptide Rhythm breaking down the defenses down in the middle. RRQ now have to be careful. They're about to be backstabbed. Falcons do have a little bit of a leeway here. Ran to the to make sure he doesn't get caught out here by the players on the side of Loud. And Falcons using this opportunity to quickly back away. But the angles will get them caught out. Limit just hiding away as RRQ loses their numbers.
Not really the rotation that Falcons wanted to make, but thankfully they didn't have too much casualty, and Loud recovers from that exchange. Tristan Myers hearing all of this go down. So Loud is not out of danger just yet.
Lightning Zone called out. Some survival play from a squad, or could it be Twisted Minds who are coming in for the attack as well? Smelling blood out there, and they want to reap the benefits of the efforts from these two squads. SHUL on the way in. Man, this is going to be a very messy fight right outside of Riders Club. Team Apex Gaming could also join the fight here. Who wants this most? I mean, it is a battle royale at its finest with that Lightning Zone out there, but everybody slowly inching closer and closer towards the next circle.
Like the same situation when Lyon takes the west side of the map and AJL takes the eastern side, and they both meet in the middle. But with EVOS out, now this could be BRU's chance to find some redemption. If King's gonna disengage from Asana, chases him down and confirms that elimination. BRU springing to life, looking for Della.
Just put it up, play spoilers here, stopping the Lion squad right here, right now. Della, a sliver of health left on him. Wasana already used up the Valiant Dash earlier, just with the slide rail, trying to get into position. Will drop down to the lower ground. M1014 will be no match for the M590. And Wasana takes another player out from the side of Lion. Joker with the stealth bites managed to get away from that situation. It's a, what is this? Put it up with a player out in the open. If the stealth bite runs out of time, motion.
Oh my goodness.
Shoots him right in the knee, takes him out. One final survivor for Lion.
Moshi was so ready to intercept that rotation. He wasn't even in the early exchange. It was just get high of Asana. And Moshi already went out on an adventure anticipating that rotation, but thankfully the young kid of Lyon brings the rest of his seniors back, and to get another shot at this. AJL now facing off against Falcons to deny a potential 90 point, but they will trade one now. Pina, can he go big here against Nameless, who so far has been sublime, but Pina will get taken down by Dew, and AJL keeps on.
Those glue walls don't match for the M82B, especially in the hands of Dew. Great advantage taken with a weapon in hand. In fact, he's got the AWM as well if he wants to pack a super punch off of those snipes. 5 eliminations strong here for AJL. Already activated match point. They want this booyah. It's all about the booyah here. At the start of the day, no booyah, no problem. Right now, no booyah. Very big problem for these 4 squads.
And I did mention earlier on that Falcons is one of the teams that have a chance to reach 90 points. And if in a universe that they win the trophy, they will not only be a 2-time champion, but we will have an actual 2-time champion, and that would be on fire. And how cool is that?
Oh yeah, man.
He was there back with Peter, with Koskill, with one more back in Riyadh 2024, when they set the world record that was just broken by Lyon.
Is that the only highlight Lyon gets from this grand finals? A record set by them, or they get a double. A record-breaking, record-setting match, and then the championship here at the Esports World Cup 2026. They gather up together with the rest of their team members inside the circle. They are safe. AJL on the other hand, Dew hopping out of the vehicle, very smart play. That definitely saves their lives. But they'll have to use up a lot of these utilities, a lot of those glue walls to route their way in closer towards Twisted Minds.
This is going to be a hard one.
Oh, beautiful.
But if they survive, it's going to be good. The Riptide Rhythm not good enough. Exposé needed to hit that. It's also a good time to draw a parallel between EVOS and Lyon. Last year, at the cusp of victory, he was washed out. The wonder kid, the newcomer that kept the team alive.
Yeah.
Just now it was what course they did it.
And remember, last year EVOS activated Champion Rush on game number 6, and it took them 4 games to find the finisher. Will we see a similar situation here for the Ladder squad as well? Do they struggle? Do they get held back? Or do they find that final circle and rip this one away? Kameskek finding Rasia. The super sniper of EVOS, the kid out, looking for that revive off of the rest of his team members. Twisted Minds keeping AJL a little bit entertained, but I have to say again, amazing rotation by AJL to avoid disaster there, as Twisted Minds had the compound, had the circle, and were trying to gatekeep them.
Yeah, but AJL will still be put under pressure because there's an open ground.
Yeah.
There's really nothing much to keep them safe, unless for some reason Loud decides that they want a piece of that. We might see a reunion between Lyon and BRU2. In fact, BRU brushes past Lyon. Binocular scan on the southern side.
If Buriram gets to that final circle, walks away with Booyah, they'll definitely activate the match point for themselves as well. And no better way to stop the other teams than to walk away with the booyah on your own and make sure they do not end the game.
Wow.
As AGAL hits the triple. Lyon finding Falcons out there as well. Unfortunately, Twisted Minds looking to gatekeep AGAL and that just did not go their way at all. Do you look at this? The guy's tanking the damage from the circle. Yago from the opposite end. Car98 takes the pass out. Only one final survivor here for Twisted Minds.
They should know that there's a separate team ahead because he saw the feed as well.
Oh!
Jump, getting tagged by Saifa, and that's his fourth. This should be the end of Twisted Minds. But here comes MIBR.LOS with the launch pad.
So revive player dropping outside the circle here, looking for yet another revive on the squad. Lyon, shot from afar.
This is good.
Joker, BSK, can you end them right here, right now? Buriram trying to take out the ones who activated the Champ Rush so early on. Games King, a sliver of health left on him. Exposi brings back the pass. It's still alive here for Twisted Minds. Lyon on the other hand, trying to snuff out Buriram. Captain Jonah, nowhere to run. And the rest of them rushing in from the left-hand side. This should be the end for the captain. And Buriram is out.
And they free themselves out completely. And even better, gain possession of the circle. Dinocular scan out the remnants of AGAL. It's the same as the last game where both Lyon and AGAL destined to meet in the middle for a chance and a trophy.
4 teams on that match point, still alive and kicking. The competition could end on this game.
Unbelievable.
There are 4 others who can prevent them. Your reigning defending world champions from EWC still alive and kicking, although they have not really looked super aggressive at all. Pushes in, what a double nade, and the side as well to annihilate SAQL Esports.
AGL down one man without Saifa, who has been tearing up a storm so far. Can they overcome Laudia? Seems like Tuesday. Hell yeah, he can.
Shots from afar. Few just trying to put in some damage here, but he's going to be pressured by the circle. Do you have the glue walls on yourself to protect your life? BAR.LOS on the front lines. They've already been locked in by the thrill of battle. That's the only reason why they paused their rush. But now, without that thrill of battle pressuring them, do they have enough time as the circle catches up with them as well? Nameless takes himself out with the ice grenade. That's not the play you want in a circle like this.
They could miss it out again. Dude, the only person who has some safe haven behind the blue wall, but they still has to outrun the blue. And in the meantime, Lao has the full team alive, and look at where Lyon is. They're fighting with the White Tigers. If Lyon overcomes EVOS right now, this might be it, and they have just done it. In the top 6, Lyon incredibly healthy. They're right smack in the middle as Twisted Minds burns.
Twisted Minds out of the equation already. AGAL, only 2 more survivors. Team Apex Gaming waking up in what could potentially be the final game here.
Only TH trophy left.
Oh man. India, can you do it? Can you help the rest of the squads? Can you keep these games going? AGL with the pressure. BAR.LOS cooking up the grenade already. The shot from Lyon. Games King. And here Husky.
We are guaranteed a champion. It might not be AGL though. The dream might be cut short again, just like last year in Riyadh. But for the time, it could be their first. And for Brazil, it could also be their first.
What is going to happen here? BAR.LOS do. M16 in hand. Lyon after the record-breaking run. Like we said, Games King. No graduation, but I guess he graduates today as one of the legends of Free Fire.
What a good spot. They can flank Raul right now. If they flank Loud and they take Loud out, this could put them in that same exact championship situation again. And Loud, they're under heavy pressure. But Games King is not stopping. This might be his chance, and they find it. Loud completely trapped.
Brazil, no chance. It's now AGL in a 2v4. Looking impossible. Games King fights BAR.LOS, and they won't do it. Games King, validations up already. Deal with one final shot of the AWM. But Joker up close and personal with Dada secures it. And Lyon, it's the domination of the Animal Kingdom here at the Esports World Cup 3 years in a row.
You have done it. You have done it, Latin America. Last year, Marcos, you monster. You saw what Russia did last year, and you did the exact same thing. Your first year, February until now, 5 months in, you're a champion in Paris.
Garena Free Fire.